Welcome to the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast, a standalone 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Each episode is its own mini adventure, so you can listen to them in any order you choose. You can even listen to this one backwards if you like, but take it from me, it's a waste of time. I'm your Dungeon Master this week, and joining us for this wild ride is Olive.
Hey everybody, Olive is a bipedal crocodile. She's a level 9 Way of the Open Hand monk studying by correspondence.
Next up we have Cade Ghostbane. I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrestling thing, but I'm just going to go with it.
Cade is a tall, slender, pale-skinned half-elf, because he's half Shader Kai, and he's looking to get going and adventuring. He's a level 9, with 2 levels in Paladin and the rest in Warlock.
And last but certainly not least, we have Oryn.
Oryn is a 9th level shadow sorcerer. He's 17 years old. He has tan skin, green eyes, and iridescent snakes for hair. He is a Medusa. He's icy cold to the touch, and he also happens to be a Butler School dropout.
Aren't we all? In one way or another. So, this adventure begins when, in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild Hall, it's getting to summer. I think everything's quite bright and sunny. It's not quite too hot, but it's really getting there. It's not quite up to absolutely needing an ice cream, but, you'd kind of fancy one if one turned up. However, what's turning up now is all the quests that get dropped off every day. Usually they come in a nice big sack. They get dropped off at the door, and you have to file through them to find out what's worth looking into. So that's what you're currently doing. You're sorting through the quests. You're digging your hands down into the bag. You're throwing them around and going, what's this one? Rats in the basement. We've done that one. What's this one? There's a cat in a tree? No thanks. What's this? Toilet block? All of this stuff looks really menial and even below your standards. However, I think we'll say, Oryn, you pick out a sleek black leather box with fancy golden clasps. It's got a series of numbers printed on the top, and yeah, we'll just leave it at that for the time being. So it's a nice fancy black leather box with numbers printed on top. Certainly a lot different to the rest of the rubbish you've been getting today.
I open it.
Okay, you unclasp the golden things and you open it. There's not even any sort of squeak. It's that slick. Inside, you find a tightly furled scroll with a black wax seal and also a small leather pouch.
I open... Is the scroll... Do I know the seal on the scroll?
You do not. The seal appears to be some sort of... Well, you'd probably say it was a bat.
Cool. I open the letter and dump the contents in the bag on a table.
The coins that were in the bag clatter everywhere. They just go rolling off the table. Everyone else who is in the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild, though Nusi at the bar, whoever else is hanging around, just look over at you like, you're throwing money around.
No, you're throwing money around. And he reads the scroll.
You unfurl. By the way, the amount of gold that you just dumped over the table was about 500 gold pieces.
Cool.
So, if you don't gather that up, people are going to start taking it from you. Anyway, you unfurl the scroll, and it says, you have to read it in a dramatic voice. It says, "The measures put in place proved ineffective. The Count's wrath is immense. Return to us immediately to remedy the situation. Your usual advance is enclosed."
Where are Olive and Cade?
You'd have to ask them.
Where are you guys?
Cade is currently standing at the bar getting a refill in his flask.
Olive is spread out, looking exactly like a log, but dangerous, in the sun outside the guild, laying on the cobblestones because they have absorbed the heat, and she is finally warm for the first time in months.
Okay, so Oryn's gonna gather up the coins, put them back in the box with the letter, and go over to Cade and just kind of be like, yo, 500 gold coins. Count. Evil. Let's go.
Sounds good to me. And Cade closes up his flask, slides it in his pocket, and says, let's go.
Sweet. And then she's gonna blah, blah, blah. I'm not playing Satara. I'm her son. Oryn. It's gonna be trouble today, y'all. Oryn walks over to where Olive is sitting and just kind of taps her with his foot and is like, 500 gold pieces. Crazy count. You in?
She leaps up to her feet, way more agile than a crocodile should be able to, and is like, I'm in.
Great, let's go. And then he hands you guys the letter because he has no idea where to go.
Yeah, that's the thing about this letter. It doesn't actually contain any directions, any other information. However, if you just roll, one of you, Olive, if you've got everything now, just roll me a quick investigation check. Or perception, your choice.
Okay, good. An 18 perception?
Okay, as Oryn hands you the letter and the box, you finally get to have a look at this. And, the scroll itself is also black. It's been written in like a silvery writing. So whoever these people, are, they really like the color black. But as you turn the box over, you do see a what seems to be a return label, which says Central Hub Adventurers Depot, Nicomoy.
I show this writing to my friends because it does not have immediate meaning to me.
Cade takes a glance at it and just raises an eyebrow like, I'm not too sure either.
Oryn's a teenager. He has no idea. He's just sitting there staring at you guys expectantly.
Okay, I think...
I take it to Nulisag.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough, okay.
Yeah, I take it to Nulisag. I go inside and I find on the second floor in his office our newly returned to work after having recovered from an injury boss.
Yeah. Nulisag is a dwarf, I remember correctly, with a somewhat high-pitched voice.
Yes, he is.
So he takes a look at it and goes, "Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah. Well, some of the other, guilds, some time ago decided to, what's the word? Unionize, right? And they all work together to, give each other, quests which suit them a bit better. But, I didn't want to go into that because I don't want to, trouble with the unions and all that. So we just kind of, we're freelancers, all right? It's a free market, innit? I'm not sure he'd say innit. That's a very London thing to say, but we're going to go with it for the time being. Anyway, yeah, it's over towards the centre of town. And... yeah, if you get the opportunity, feel free to burn the place down, or no. Sorry, I've been holding a bit grudges a bit more recently. Yeah, just go knock something over if you can.
Burn it to the ground. Got it.
Oryn's hands light up with lightning. Yes.
I'm going to change all my notes right now. Go for a different adventure. More arson it is, okay.
Shall we go?
Absolutely. I've got 10 torches ready.
I'm always down to burn something.
I mean, this won't be the first place I've burned down.
God, Olive.
Yeah, it's all quite worrying. I think we as a group do have a bit of an issue with arson, don't we?
I wonder why we weren't invited to join the union with everybody else.
I don't know.
Maybe the arson. Maybe it's the murder. Oh,
Who knows? Could be any of them. Could be all of them.
Gonna be labeled a dark guild before long.
Oh,
no.
Are we the baddies?
The real twist all along.
Anyway, following Nulasag's directions, you head over towards the central hub, which is a large circular building in the middle of town. So, with a number of pillars and ornate carvings, there's a copper, which is turned green now, dome over the top, with large windows covering its exterior. Heading inside, the first thing you see is a large onyx platform directly in the center of the room. It's very circular, and there seems to be some sort of magical tablet stood right next to it. Elsewhere in the room, there are stands lining the inside of the wall. So remember, this is a circular building, so it sweeps around. Each stand seems to have a different flag or like emblem, with someone working at it, doing paperwork and filing tax returns and, all that sort of, good stuff that we here at the Fire Breathing Kittens Guild do not do. I'm not sure anyone's ever paid any sort of tax. Silence. Yep.
Let us have our tax haven in peace.
I look over to my friends and I say, what are they doing?
They're paying the man.
What man?
Exactly. We don't answer to no man.
And then Cade looks behind him at seemingly no one. He says, do you guys know what they're talking about? What's going on? Whatever. This place looks boring. Y'all ready to burn it down?
Okay. Is there an unattended flag?
There is no unattended flag, but there is a desk towards the platform that just simply says queries or questions, depending on.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Cade. They're watching us too closely here.
You just see a slight frown.
Is there a bat symbol on one of them?
There is not, no.
Well, Oryn, so he's wearing a toga and a butler's jacket. It's not a phase, Mom. And so he flips his jacket back, kind of buttons it, walks up to the question thing, and leans down and says, "Good day. I am a butler, and I would like to know where I need to go for this. It's a job for my master."
And you hand over the box and scroll and everything, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. The attendant, who will remain undescribed because it's not that important, they take the box, have a look at the numbers on top and just say, yes, right this way. We'll sort this out immediately. And walks you over towards the large onyx platform in the center of the room. Just says, step on this and we'll have you there in a jiffy.
Oryn waves his companions over. He's like, "Look, I found it."
I guess. For not burning anything down, let's at least go check it out.
Cade and Olive trudge toward the platform sullenly.
Okay, there will be plenty of opportunities to burn stuff down later.
Good, you promised.
It's okay, we have arson at home.
Foreshadowing.
You walk over towards the platform in the center of the... It's a large, as I said, large onyx circular platform. The two of you, Cade and Oryn, you two are both, magical beings, so you sense a thrum of magic. I want to say purple, coursing throughout the onyx platform, which tends to go for teleportation magic. Purple's a very, very teleporty color, isn't it? So, in my head.
Oryn looks at his companions and he says, "You guys might not want to stand next to me. The snakes get teleportation sick pretty easily." He's kind of embarrassed, kind of petting his hair.
I'm picturing tiny hair snakes vomiting. That's so cute.
Gross.
Olive steps back.
Cade looks behind him and says, do you guys get teleportation sickness? No? Okay, we're good.
I do have to ask, who are you talking to?
What? Oh, the little one's here. He just points at seemingly nobody.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am magically inept. Totally no skills. What would a more normal, magically talented person be seeing here?
Why don't you ask Oryn? What do they look like, Oryn? You give her a good description.
Oryn kind of looks between the two of you and is just like, tiny little men, and then turns around and steps on the platform.
Tiny little men, that's an odd description. But okay.
Hello.
And you just don't hear anything?
While this conversation is happening, the attendant is holding the box with one hand. They hand the scroll back to Oryn, looking at the numbers printed on top, and with the other hand is tapping away at the magical tablet, which is stood directly next to the platform. Just go beep, 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 beep. They're making the noise because you got to have some fun in work, right? So they go boop, 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 boop,
Oryn's
boop,
definitely
boop,
like
boop, boop, boop,
standing up to his full 7-foot height, holding his hand out for the box. Like, that's gold. Give it.
Once they finish typing away, they go, oh, yes, of course. We're not allowed to keep these anyway. It's company property and all that. So, everyone ready to go?
Yeah, we're all ready.
They hold a finger above what would, in this world, be a button. But excellent. The finger goes down. Magic swirls around all of you, and you get whisked into the netherworld or ether or whatever universe we use for fast travel. The place you land, however, is very much different from Nicomoy. So you left a coastal, balmy, tropical atmosphere. It was sunny. It was dry. This place is the exact opposite. You land with a squelch in mud. And Oryn, I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from you for your teleportation sickness.
Oh, this is going to be a long day for Oryn. That is a 1+. Oh, wait, it's a 5. So not a complete fail.
Well, if you rolled a 1, then things are going to get hairy.
I did roll a 1. I rolled a 1 + 4.
So not only are all your snakes projectile vomiting at the same time, you also fall over, slip over in the mud, and you end up covered in mud and vomit, and your jacket is ruined.
Great. I have prestidigitation. I can make myself look pretty again.
That's okay, but the emotional embarrassment of falling over, you're just lucky that none of your butler friends saw that. Falling over is the height of disrespect.
Well, seeing the look on Oryn's face, Olive flops over and also lays horizontal in the mud. So she was wearing a white Jedi-style robe and baggy brown pants, and the mud splashes up around on both sides of her as she splooshes in with you.
Yeah, but you like the mud. It's different.
I do like the mud.
Cade just looks down and starts shaking his boots off. Gross.
I roll over a few times, like barrel rolling. It's a natural movement for me. And I, like, have you ever been in a sleepover when you're, like, both, you've got your heads close to one another and you're kicking your legs up behind you? Like, yay, slumber party. I have, yay, mud party pose. And I'm like, yay.
Oryn is like, he's just sitting there and he's like, oh God, oh God.
You okay?
Deprogramming, butler school, don't fall over. And then he stands up.
No, butlers are too uptight. I take some mud and I like squish it between my fingers. And I'm like, see, this is squishy and fun.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of relaxes a little bit. He's like, I guess. And he takes his jacket off and just leaves it in the mud because he's like, well.
That's right. I'm glad you feel better.
I mean, the mud might be nice, but what about the vomit?
Oh, like I'd care?
That has been prestidigitated away.
Anyway, after this brief episode, you Oryn, you finally manage to stand up. Your legs are shaking a little bit, but you all find yourself, after you are rudely interrupted by a giant flash of lightning, you see yourself in a dark village street. The mud is actually the road. Wooden buildings line the place. Everything looks very dark and dismal. You see windows boarded up, and the only thing you can see that's lit up by the lightning is a distant mountainside castle. Looks very intimidating, with turrets and ramparts and lights in the tower.
Do we notice any people or any? Do we notice any living beings in the area? Like maybe that inhabit the buildings.
There's no one in the street with you at the moment. However, you do. If you, as the thunder fades away, you do hear what seems to be some noise coming from a door a little further on down the street. It seems to be music.
So my background is entertainer. Do I know what type of music this is?
It's folk music. So you can pick apart some like fiddles and drums. It's fairly basic, not quite your style. It's not quite city music, but you can. I think this might be Oryn's maybe guilty pleasure.
Hey, guys, let's go check out the music. He gets like really excited.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, you wander over carefully. I should mention, you carefully wander through the mud, slipping and sliding your way through the city street towards this door. And as you get closer to it, another flash of lightning bursts in the sky, which illuminates a small dilapidated sign just above the door, which says "The Final Embrace." It seems to be some sort of tavern.
This isn't ominous at all.
I mean, Oryn, if you want to hear this music, I'll go inside. And I open the door for my hesitating friend, Cade. I'm like, why not? Let's just give it a chance.
If nothing else, we can burn it down.
Yeah, we got to burn something down this episode. Come on.
In this weather? Good luck.
Oh, no. And then, hoping that it'll cheer my friend up, I step inside first before Cade. Taking any dart traps for him.
Oryn goes in.
You open the door just as another flash of lightning hits the sky. So as you open the door, everyone just turns to look at you. You are met with a sea of pale, panicky faces as you stand there. Everyone is silent. Even the music has stopped.
Oh, they're all pale? I fit right in then.
Oh. Oryn's disappointed. He's trying to figure out who was playing the music.
It's probably the people with the instruments.
He looks over and he says, I like the music. Care to continue?
Okay, give me a quick, just straight charisma check.
That was a D12 and not a D20. Let's roll a D20. Oh, look at that. Nat 20.
Hey. As you say that, the tension seems to just drop in the room. The music starts playing up again. People go back to their conversations. And you can finally have a quick look around as to where you actually are. It seems to be not quite like a full tavern as you'd expect it. So there isn't like a bar area with, seating, maybe a table where people play cards. It's more of a long hall. So there are long tables going from the top end to the bottom end. There are casks of alcohol stacked up in the corner. There are people singing songs. There's a top table right at the far end with a couple of people sat up, and one of those people, as you basically say hi, and everyone goes back to their drinks, stands up and walks over to you. This person, I should got my notes in a little bit of a weird order. This person is wearing furs for the weather. They've got a big brown bushy beard and thick tufty hair. It's a bit of a pale face, but maybe that was from everyone thinking they're about to be murdered all of a sudden. Or maybe it's just for the fact that they don't get a lot of sun where they are. However, this person walks up to you and goes, are you the ones who are meant to... Sorry, the alcohol. You must be the ones who we sent for, correct?
Possibly. Is this the note you sent?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Excellent, excellent. You came immediately. That was excellent. Good, very good timing. Come with me and come and get some mead, some food, and I will introduce you to absolutely everybody.
You've had me at mead.
Is there an open spot in, like, on the floor, like an open area where there's nobody at?
Yes, I imagine so. There'd have to be some sort of area for, like, the band to be sitting. They might be off in a corner somewhere with there's a nice a carpeted area where the band have set up shop over towards a large fireplace.
Because Oryn, since these people are not scared of, his snake hair and him being a Medusa, he very much so is reaching into his pack and grabbing some black ballet shoes and, like, wanting to go dance. Because it is not often he gets to perform anymore.
Okay.
Ooh. That's going to be so cool to watch.
You wander over towards the band's area. As you pull out your shoes, everyone in that area seems to kind of get what you're going to go for, and they clear a small area, and you get to finally show your stuff. And your stuff will be determined by a performance check.
18.
Okay. You're a little thrown off just from the fact that you did fall over 3.5 minutes ago, but as you start to get into it and people start cheering and clapping, you're like, finally, validation. And how about
Yes.
you describe what the dance looks like, because I know very few terms.
Okay. Funny story. I do dance concerts and I still don't know terms. But Oryn, when he dances, he does a lot of, like, freeform stuff, and he was dancing since he was little. So he's definitely, like, very, like, pointed toes. Everything looks very pretty. And he very much so is doing, like, this very elaborate ballet type dance with, like, spins and like big kicks to this fiddle music, to this bluegrass music. So it's probably a little, like, disconcerting at the first part of it, but then they are like, no, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Olive elbows Cade. We both have mead, and we're like, wow, the toga really swirls when Oryn spins.
Yeah, it's a little. I thought it was awkward at first, but it looks really elegant.
As Oryn is dancing, one of the other band members quickly puts down their flute because it doesn't really seem to be fitting the tone. And then goes and grabs a very, basically a hunting horn, and go. So you can really get a bit of bass in there. So you eventually you will get a bit of a noise in with the bluegrass, which could work. I don't see why not.
Fire Breathing Kittens, the album, bluegrass with bass,
coming soon. You never know. Anyway, Olive and Cade, what are you two up to? I know you've got some mead.
We're just chit-chatting about previous adventures. Cade's, like, absent-mindedly patting the skull hanging from his belt, and just chit-chatting, observing the locals, trying to figure out where we are and why these people all kind of look like me a little bit.
Yeah, they look a lot more like you than they do me. Olive is pouring mead, so she opens her mouth. She's got 82 or something like that teeth, and she's pouring the mead onto the giant crocodile mouth. But they make good mead. I like it here.
Yeah, not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad.
I wonder when they're going to tell us
well,
how much we're going to get paid for this job.
Well, you already got an advance of 500 gold pieces. However...
And it seems like the meat is on the house. I'll take another.
Here's a lesson, kids. Always take free drinks, but drink responsibly.
Yeah, best job ever so far. We've already been paid and the booze is free.
Yeah, so you spend maybe the next hour just chatting amongst yourselves. Oryn, you spend quite a lot of time dancing. You manage to get a couple of the locals to, get up and join you if you should so wish. So you can start teaching them some moves because they are all very impressed.
I think he's definitely trying to, but he is definitely a teenager and not very good at teaching others.
Yeah, you're like, it's like, what do you mean you can't do this highly advanced technique? You just do this. And
are we still are we at the bar, Olive and I?
There isn't really a bar area. It's basically
table?
Just if you like sit down at one of the tables, people just bring you booze. It's a really good situation. You don't even have to go order it.
Okay,
it's just mead.
So the next time they bring us mead, I want to ask the server. So what's with the boarded up windows and the creepy castle in the distance?
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, I hardly need to tell you. You're great adventurers. You know, I'm sure far more about it than I do. But hey, he seems to be about to speak now. They gesture up towards the top table where the person you met earlier has stood up and is waving his tankard around because they don't have teeny tiny little spoons with. They're like, shut up, and everything goes a bit quieter after that. And he stands up at the center of the top table and addresses the whole hall. He says, and if I can get the accent back, then it will be a miracle. All right, Dev. No. This is what happens. And I'm like, hey, you can do a Swedish accent, can't you? No. I can do it very... I have such weird trigger words for accents. So for like Scandinavian, it's like just going, Skyrim belongs to the Nords, and that's how we get there. It's so weird, you know? But anyway, he addresses the whole hall and says, we are all here for the same reason. The Count has been sucking this town dry for far too long. 1 year ago, a brave group of adventurers came into town and sealed him inside the castle. Now the time has come again. He has broken out and is far more dangerous than ever. He takes our villagers, he takes our livestock, he does vile things to them. And now he has taken my brother, Albrecht. Will you stand for this? And the entire hall goes, no! You can't really tell if it's a no or a yes, but you get the idea that they're annoyed. So he continues, but now we have a chance to fight back. We have help, finally. Great heroes of the age have come to assist us in our fight. We stand here amongst adventuring royalty. And he gestures towards you three in turn. The great members of the Sanguinista Guild have finally answered our summons, and they have come back to finish the count once and for all. Now, my brothers, my sisters, eat well and drink and be merry tonight. Tomorrow we die, but tonight we live.
Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys, come here. Group huddle.
Yeah, Oryn, bounces over, and as he's bouncing over, you can see him, poking the fire-breathing kitten on his thigh to get it to move, because he has the same, magical tattoo that Satara had. And he's, trying to get the kitten to move up his back so it's hidden.
Olive puts on a piece of fabric around her left palm, like a glove, like a fingerless glove. She ties it like that. Cade, where's your tattoo?
It's on his chest, so it's good and hidden.
Yeah, button up that collar. So they think we're the Sanguinista Guild, and they have someone called the Count who has been sucking this town dry for too long. What do you guys? They think they're gonna die tomorrow. So do we A, peace out and go tell the Sanguinista Guild, or B, go fight a vampire? What do you think?
Do we get to burn things if we fight the vampire?
Absolutely. I hear they're very susceptible to fire.
And I say let's go burn it down.
Burn.
We fight the vampire. It's what my mother would have done.
Oh, Oryn. Oh, I wasn't there when it happened, but if there's anything I can do for you, I'm going to train you up in being a sanguinista, right? And I'm going to make sure that you survive tomorrow for sure.
Okay, he just kind of looks at you, and he just pulls out this giant, he pulls out 2 necklaces, one that matches Satara's that has mysteriously gone missing that he's still looking for. And it's a giant, dark red garnet. And he's like, all right, we got magic. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go burn that castle down. Tomorrow.
Tonight we get drunk.
Is this the best way to prep for a battle? Is just to be hungover?
Well, we could see if they have garlic mead.
Yes. I have in the past purchased, true story, a garlic wine, I think it was. So it does exist. It's used as a cooking wine. I bought it as a present, so I don't know what it tastes like, but I assume cooking wine with garlic. But yeah, no, that is actually a thing. Oryn, you're smart. Let's go to the bar and inquire what kinds of wines they have. Or just, do you have any garlic? And I'd like to eat a lot of it. Thank you.
You get the attention of one of the servers passing, and you're like, hey, do you have anything with garlic in? And they look at you a little bit insulted, and go, what sort of place do you think this is?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I'm a crocodile. We have very unusual appetites. I love me some garlic.
It's okay. I'll let it go because, you're great heroes and everything. But, the garlic thing is a bit of a soft spot, okay? Just take it down a couple of notches.
Are they all vampires?
I think they're all vampires. I think they're very pale. It's very dark here. I think they're all vampires. Yep.
Okay.
Cade leans in to you two and says, I've only got 3 steaks in my bag, so we're going to have to reuse a lot of them.
Okay.
Oh, no. Well, this would not be the first. Well, it would be the first for Oryn to kill out a whole town. Okay. Oryn kind of straightens up and he's like, is there perhaps a place to sleep, please?
The guy who just gave the killer speech, who's just been high-fiving people as he's walking past, is like, yeah, I just made that up, I tell you, it's the mead. By the way, listeners, I'm high-fiving right now. It's called non-verbal acting. He walks over to you and goes, hey guys, what did you think of the speech, eh?
Oh, it was fantastic. Can you tell us a little more about this count?
Oh yes, I mean, your other guild members must have told you something about them, but yes, I can tell you what I can, but it used to be that this was a fairly a nice town. As you can see outside, it's a complete bit of a wreck, to be honest. But yes, it used to be a good place. We had many people come from miles around to see the castle, and it used to be run by a good lord called, I don't know, Lord Good Lord. We don't have very good naming conventions in this part of the world, but it's also something the DM didn't think up. So that's what we get. We get Lord Good Lord. Okay, moving on. No, we used to have Lord Good Lord in the castle, and he was a good lord of the land. But ever since the count moved in, under mysterious circumstances, I should probably add, that everything's just been going, wouldn't you say, about a bit downhill. So last year we got your fine selves, the Sanguinister Guild, to come and we said, if you can just take him out however you choose, because those when you as I'm sure you'll know, when you hire the certain guilds, they've got to be like a cast iron contract in terms of the whether it's like a lethal thing, a non-lethal thing, and then depending on the laws of the land, as it turns out, whether, they're actually allowed to, have like a justified killing, as it were. But
oh, we're very familiar with that.
I'm
We've
sure
been
you
guild
are.
members for a long time. Unionized. Yep.
I'm of course you are. Of course you are. You're great heroes.
Read those contracts every day.
Of course. The last people said it was like 80% of the job, just paperwork.
Oryn's just kind of shrinking on himself, and his snakes are like hiding under each other because he's like, oh no.
But we are so glad to have finally gotten the funds together for this this one, because this is the one that counts, because the last time you guys did such a good job. You sealed him up. We had one whole year of no count to deal with, and things started to get better. But no, he's broken out again. He's taking our people back, as if he didn't do enough beforehand. He's like taking our livestock. I'm being really careful not to accidentally go into a West Country accent when I say livestock, because I naturally go livestock.
You don't have to worry about your accent, by the way.
I do.
mean, no, you're fine. You should be comfortable. And when you mentioned pay, have you heard there's a minor processing glitch with the banking system right now, and you know how it was all handled automatically in the past? Well, this time, unfortunately, you're going to have to pay us in cash, because the account is temporarily just having a little bit of a glitch.
Olive, you're going to hate me for this, but I'm going to ask you for a deception roll.
No, you guys, don't let the crocodile talk.
Well, you're the one lying to people.
Is it possible for me to rephrase it so I'm not lying? So I'm like, the money will not reach us if you use the direct deposit. Can I have a persuasion instead? Oh no, it's the same.
She's telling the truth.
It doesn't matter at all. -1 in deception, persuasion. Okay, here goes. I'm just lying out my butt. A 2 minus a 1 is a 1.
An unnatural 1. They don't happen often, folks, but here we are. A very dirty 1. He just laughs and goes, "Oh, last year you were good fun too." Oh, we needed that laugh. But yes, as with all of them, we send the deposit beforehand, and then once the job gets completed, then you get paid from there. So as far as I understand it, everything is already pre-tax deducted, so you don't have to worry about it yourself. Because let's face it, what sort of backwards place would make you do your own tax returns?
Low blow, DM.
Oryn points at Cade, and he's casting message. So Cade, you're gonna hear this in your head. And he says, Perhaps we should stop talking to this man.
Cade wants to try and back Olive up with the whole system is down issue. Said no, she's actually telling the truth. Our systems are all over the place these days. We've just had too many inquiries, and it's just a flood of info and everything. It's just really messed up all of our payment systems.
Okay, you give me a deception check.
All right, well, I have a +8.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say.
Oh, thank goodness. A warlock.
14 + 8.
For 22. Okay, I rolled a 16, so you're in the clear. He says, "Oh, I understand these things happen. Maybe it's our magical reception. Maybe there's the count is doing something. But yes, don't worry about it. I mean, tomorrow we're all going to die anyway. So we'll see what we can get you. A little bit extra, hazard pay."
I have one more question for you. They didn't tell us before we left. Why did the previous group we sent not just kill the Count?
Oh, I think it was up to them. I think at that point, maybe I wasn't part of that particular exchange, but I was thinking maybe they could only afford like a non-lethal version of it, or maybe the guild just deemed it unneeded for lethal force. Maybe they were like they just went to it wasn't like proportionate, as it were.
I see. And like I said, our systems are all over the place these days, so we didn't really get a dossier. Can you give us a little description of the Count?
Well, you guys are. I mean, you guys are a bit. Sorry, that was very. You guys are a bit. We go West Country, that one.
It's the booze.
It happens. It's the booze, yeah. Because, well, your systems must be really, backed up with all that. But, well, as far as I know, he's the only one in the castle. So, well, aside from my brother, that is, he's been taken by the Count for nefarious reasons, and obviously, if you can get him back, that we'd pay extra for that. But that would just be from me.
Sure. Can you tell us what he looks like so we know we make sure to grab him on our way out?
It looks like me, but without the beard.
Gotcha.
Does the Count strike at midnight? Does he have like a pattern?
He has been sealed in the castle for the past year. His pattern seems to be kidnapping people from the village.
Yeah, but like at what time, man? Like, don't these people normally have like a schedule?
I wish that were the case.
When we do rescue Albrecht, who should we say sent us? What's your name?
Oh, my name is, I'm surprised that didn't come out before. My name is Bernholt. It's got a silent D, be careful.
Oh, great. I'm writing this down wrong. It's just... Okay, all right, I wrote it down wrong. So, do you have any secret communication words? Like, for example, we would say parakeet to one another, guys, right? If there were any concerns about our identity. Do you have any, words like that we should... Or what's a story from your childhood that we should tell Albrecht so that he can know for sure that Barnholt sent us?
Let's have a think. You can tell him that, this is a story which has sounds weird out of context, but you can tell him that mother's milk tastes far too bloody today.
You're right. Out of context, that would be awful. I'm sure he'll know what you're talking about.
I've got to say, in context, it sounds even worse. It's not a great day.
I'm sad I have to say that later.
Yeah, Cade puts his finger on his nose and says, "Not it."
Great. All right.
I do that.
Oryn whips out a notebook and writes it down.
Thank you, Oryn.
Just by the by, I do the not it with touching my nose thing all the time in real life, and it gets me out of doing so much stuff. Especially in a group, if anyone has to like go down to get a pizza or something, you just go not it, and everyone just like immediately accepts that that's the rule, even if you've never done it before.
That is one of the best episodes of Community, I think. Yeah. All right. So beds. Oryn was inquiring about that, Barnholt, and I think we got distracted with the bloody mother's milk. So back to the topic of sleeping arrangements. Do you guys sleep like hanging from the ceiling, or do you have beds available? Like whatever you do is cool with me. I'm also good with the mud outside, so I'm flexible. But beds?
I mean, some of us do sleep with the on the rafters, but quite a lot of us also just sleep on the floor. It seems to be a bit warmer there. We can all like cuddle up and share heat and all that. But like if you want your own place, which is completely understandable, you can just like take any of the buildings like in the road across the way, because they all are mostly empty. Just try not to get kidnapped. That would be very awkward.
All right. We will take a building across the way. Hey, you guys, do you want to go to one of those buildings across the way?
Oryn is vigorously shaking their head yes.
Yeah, that we need time to plan, and we'd like to do that in private, so we'll take a building across the street.
Perfect. Hang on. If you want to do some planning, let me go and get you a quick sketch of the castle so you can see for yourself, any points of attack, or you're the hero, so you'll tell me what.
Greatly appreciated. If y'all have a map of the area too, that would be nice.
Oh, it's pretty boring, let me tell you. But he wanders off all the same to go and get you a map of the surrounding valley and a fairly nice portrait of the castle itself, which is it's painted in, let's call it not dark, stormy weather. It's nice and clear. There are birds flying around. There's even a griffin, but you think that might have been an artist's just making it more interesting. It's actually quite a nice weather in the picture. Outside, awful. So you now have your portrait of the castle. You have a map of the surrounding area, which is more or less just a valley and a mountain and not a huge amount else. And you are going to head over towards the other side of the street to an abandoned house to spend the night.
Yes.
Works for me.
Okay. Wandering over towards the other side of the street, you pick one of the houses among many, and the door will creak open. It's very cold inside because there's no fire raging in the hearth, for example. It's all dark and smells a bit dusty. Obviously, no one's lived here for quite some time, but there are a few old chairs for you to sit on if you want, or there's a very, very dusty rug down by the dead fireplace, which you may be able to curl up beneath, but I'm sure one of you magic-y types will be able to fix that right up.
Cade is gonna say, do you two want me to go grab some firewood outside?
No, because I don't actually want to stay here. I don't trust the people who hired us one bit, and I think that we should go have a pre-chat before they all try to kill themselves tomorrow. Because going along with people who are trying to die doesn't seem like the right idea to do.
Yeah.
It's a cult, right?
I think you're right, Oryn. You have good senses.
Oh no, we've already drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh no, the mead. We did, yes.
Oryn didn't.
Oryn, if we start being weird, let us know.
Got it.
Would you guys like to discuss things with the Count before they all battle charge in tomorrow?
Yeah, because I have a feeling, like, if they're all vampires and the Count is taking them, I have a feeling that the Count is not a vampire, but also, like, all vampires aren't evil necessarily, but also, again, cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And now that we're away from everybody else, they won't notice if we, like, sneak out, right?
Not if they're all still in there drinking. And so Cade turns around behind him and says, what do you guys think? Should we sneak out and head that way? Whatever I say? Okay, that works.
Okay. Shall we? I don't have a quick way to get there other than just walking.
Walking works for me.
That's, I have a quicker way, but I'll walk with you guys just to keep you company.
I appreciate that.
Okay. If having a look at the map you've been given, there is a small dirt track which leads from the town to the castle, sort of like a service road, which tends to go up to hard to reach areas. So it's not like you have to go cross country. It's maybe about a 30-minute walk, but just because you're in the dark. But heading out of town, just to make sure you're not making any stupid amounts of noise, like or falling over or screaming when you see a bug going past. Just everyone give me a quick stealth check to sneak out.
I have dark vision. Just throwing that one out there.
Same.
Okay.
I rolled a 17 plus 1, so 18.
14.
1 + 1, 2. Not a good day for Oryn.
Oryn. Oh, you keep falling in the mud, Oryn.
He's a dancer, not a mud tracker person.
Cade's briefly like, I wonder if this skull is affecting Oryn instead. Nice.
You make it towards the edge of the town, as the road just seemingly goes into nothingness, but then Oryn does comically slip over and go, Rah!
Oryn is also 7 feet tall, y'all, so like...
And 7 feet tall.
Big old tree falling over, essentially.
However, because the other two did well enough, I'm not going to fail the rest of you, because stealth checks can be very punishing, depending on the DM. But I'll put the... I'll say that you now have some really nasty mud in your boots, Oryn.
Gross.
It
And
squishes every time you walk.
Once again, your clothes are ruined.
He doesn't even fix them. He just leaves it at this point.
So you can manage there, but you're going to be miserable. As you walk along the road, it's the sky's cleared up a bit. It's no longer raining or being all thunder. It's quite a still night. You can, if everyone is quiet, then you can hear just distantly the sounds of the music still emanating from the long hall. Seems everyone is going to bed quite late because, as we all know, as we mentioned earlier, hangovers, that's the best mood for revolution. Hey, what can I say? If you haven't had tequila before overthrowing a government, you're missing out.
Oryn wouldn't know. He's a teenager who has not tried drinking yet.
Oh, yeah.
Is it even possible for Olive to get drunk?
It takes a lot, and it takes a lot very quickly, but it can happen. And then usually she gets a stomach ache.
Gotcha.
Is this one of those conversations which happens in universe when you're just walking along the road? Oryn's like, oh, I can still hear the band, and Olive's like, oh, should we have drunk all that mead? I mean, everyone's going to be really hungover tomorrow. And Cade goes, can you even get drunk? And you're like, yeah. Well,
Cade says, I'm not going to be hungover. Cade says, y'all might be hungover. I'm not going to, as he pulls his flask out and takes a little swig.
Oh, you can't get hungover if you're still drunk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, for the listeners, Olive is a 235-pound crocodile, which is why this conversation was based around whether or not she can get drunk. Keep going.
Also, pretty much every time anyone's tried to poison you, you've thrown it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you carry around rotten food just because?
Yes, I do. I don't understand all of the not meat items that you guys eat. So rotten or fresh, it's like it's weird, non-crocodilian. What is an onion? I was cooking onions on a boat one time and I just burned them all to heck. And I was like, you guys eat weird food, but I'll try it.
That's right. You made me booze one time on a ship. And I was really confused as how you knew how to do that.
Yeah.
Oryn is just learning all these facts and he's like, okay, Mother said these guys were like competent. She might have been overestimating the guild's abilities. Cool.
A little. Yeah. I mean, she then proceeded to quickly die on a mission with us. So,
That is true. That is true.
That was not in character.
Maybe she was just somewhere on the left side of the graph, which is like, your knowledge and skill, where like when you're, a little bit skilled, you think you're really good at it, but then you get a bit better and you're like, oh no, I'm rubbish at this. And then when you actually get good, you're like, I'm all right. She was like right at the left-hand side of it. She's like, I am fantastic at this. Uh-oh, what's this? Death.
Oh, and everyone around me is the best adventure I've ever seen. Let's go fight this curtain. It's just a curtain. It'll be fine. Oh.
Yes, because Oryn does have her journal, and was very enthusiastic to come and adventure. And so he's listening to you guys talk, and he's like, okay, cool.
That journal is just heartbreaking. Oh, gosh. It's going to be a great day. The last thing she wrote.
I mean, I read that earlier, and if you don't mind, we do have a couple of extracts from it, from not just the one she died on, which says this will be an amazing day.
No.
But the one before that says I'm starting to doubt my ability to stay alive.
Yeah. This is why Oryn has angst.
Yeah. I'll say what you will. She saw it coming.
She had a gift.
Travel montage, depressing version.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, Oryn. So you dropped out of butler school. I'm sorry that didn't work out. That Chauncey arranged that for you. But are you do you need a roommate? Because, Marlo and Remy, I haven't heard from them in a while about the plans for the long-term future. They don't really talk to me. So it's possible I might have room for another roommate. Marlo might have moved out and I wouldn't even have noticed. So do you have somewhere to live? Are you okay?
Well, thank you about butler school. That was kind of my fault. I may or may not have punched the bursar. There's no one to prove it. And that's a Hamilton reference, y'all, from the theater kid. And then he kind of looks at you and he goes, I've been going through Mom's things in her room and staying there. Thank you, though.
Okay. Well, if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. Probably, if I survive this. Okay?
Aw. And Oryn's like, oh, maybe a new mom, sort of, in a, maternal way.
Oh, Olive's 23.
Oryn is 17. Anyone over 20 is mother material to him.
Okay, good.
Cade just leans in and offers you a drink from his flask, and doesn't even say anything. He just nods. Here you go.
Big bro and big sis are here for you in different ways.
Oryn takes a sip, but he's never drank before, so what is in that?
Oh, it's the good stuff. It's tequila and vodka mixed together.
Oh, God. Poor Oryn. He immediately just starts coughing and gagging, and he's just like, oh God, oh God. It burns.
Oh, yeah, that's mouthwash. You just drink one sip and you're good. And then I elbow Cade, and I'm like, Cade! and then we arrive at the castle.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You get to the front of the castle, which has a bridge, a long domed bridge over towards its main entrance. Each side of the bridge is flanked by gargoyles, which look menacingly down at you as you walk past in the moonlight. However, as you pass, and as previous characters may have been far too paranoid about this, your characters are not. As you walk past on the bridge towards the looming castle, which, as you will have seen from your map and portrait, is called Castle Weissnacht.
I don't know why I'm writing this down. Like, it's going to be spelled correctly? No.
Maybe. Who knows?
Cade leans into his team and says, "What does that say?"
Castle Weissnacht?
An odd name.
I mean, all names are odd, if you think about it.
Does that mean vampire and, like, draconic? Oryn is asking this under his breath.
I speak draconic, and I think Nacht means night, but I don't know what Weiss is because lizard folk is not really draconic. They used to be a really long time ago, and then they diverged, and then we also mixed in with some, like, Latin languages, some halfling languages and stuff like that, and so, like, we share the same stems, but I don't truly speak draconic. Anyway. So.
Yeah, it's like French Canadian.
Yeah. Wait.
Where, you know, if you're actual... No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Really?
It's really not.
Oh, okay. So, we knock on the door.
Listeners in Quebec, feel free to give us a shout.
Yeah, do you speak French?
Or French Canadian. Tell us the difference in the review section. As long as you stick 5 stars in there, we don't mind. We'll read it out. And we'll read it out in French, and that will be awful. And you want to listen to that.
Parlez-vous français? Leave us a review.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui. Okay, but I do knock on the door because Dr. Crud and Beans taught me that you always knock first before breaking in.
That's true. Olive, you knock on the large, imposing wooden and iron doors and goes boom, boom, boom. However, you don't get an answer per se, but directly next to you there's a small statue holding a stone bowl, which seems to like rotate towards you and goes as it rotates. And on the door, words start to glow in fiery letters. And the letters say this: "In order to pass the threshold of this unhallowed hall, the kiss of sweet sanguine you must give to your lord."
This is a blood thing for the cult, isn't it?
Yep. You want to try your theory?
Yeah. Oryn, like, whips out a dagger and, like, cuts his thigh, because if you cut your hand, it hurts more. He may or may not know this from experience. He claims nothing. And, like, scoops some up and puts it in the bowl.
You dump your blood. Blood dumping? No. Sounds nasty, doesn't it? You empty your, like, your scoop handful of blood into wipe your hands on your already ruined clothes.
That's gonna get infected.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine.
The fiery letters disappear from the doorway, and the statue rotates back to where it was, and you feel a shift in the magical eddies of the door, and you hear a clunking noise as the doors swing slowly open into Castle Weissnacht.
Oryn looks back at you two, and he just goes, "I knew a theater butler once, and this reminds me of that. Very dramatic fellow."
Picturing what a theater butler would look like. Ooh, have you ever read the manga Black Butler or watched the anime where they're all pretty?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yes. Oh, it's such a good... Anyway, watch it if you haven't. He is a very pretty butler. I'm picturing that for a theater butler.
So as the doors open, Cade begins to inspect the doorway and the foyer for traps and anything like that.
Okay, are we looking for magical traps, or are we just looking for bog standard non-magical traps? Because I'd probably call those different checks.
I see what you're doing, and I help out by doing the one you're not.
Okay, I'll look for bog standard traps.
Okay, I will check for magical.
Okay.
Wait. Warlock, let's have a chat. What's a magical trap? Because I'm a monk. I don't know. I am not magical.
All right, you just look for the basic ones. I'll look for the magic ones. It's
Yes.
okay. And he just he pats your scaly head.
The sorcerer sits in silence. Like that.
Okay, Olive, give me an investigation roll.
Oh no.
I'm assuming it's not very high, judging
A 0
by your...
plus a 1 is a 1.
Oh, wonderful.
Great.
Cade rolled a 16. Sorry.
Okay, Olive, you're not quite sure what even a regular trap looks like. So you're just like on your hands and knees, like rooting around like in the corners of the door trying to find, you don't know, you think you might spot it, maybe like a mouse trap or something. You've seen those before. Seeing if they're in like larger size mouse traps. But no, you can't find any big mouse traps, unfortunately. Cade, you send out like a burst of like probing magical energy into the surrounding area. You feel a lot of magic from the bowl, which now has some thigh blood in. And you spot around the edges of the doorway, you do see glyphs, which seem to denote some sort of magical lock bound by blood, which you've just sorted out. But you also feel a sense of a bit of schadenfreude that you're just watching Olive root around in the dirt looking for like boring old like terrestrial traps when you're just like, no, there's nothing here. Like, we've already done the big thing. Wouldn't make sense to do any more traps.
Yeah, I think we're okay to proceed in. I don't sense anything, and if there was any traps, I believe you would have set them off by now. So, yeah, we should be good. And he also, again, turns behind him and says, don't worry, we'll all be okay. Just come on in.
I hop up gleefully. Yeah, there were no traps. It's safe, you guys, I say to your little invisible people that I assume are there. And if they're not there, that's okay, too. I'm just like, come inside. I would have found it. Are there little people there? Or am I just talking? Like, are you... Olive is buying it.
Out of character, Cade's background gives him the flaw that he sees and talks to spirits that no one else can see.
Okay. You could have been like, no, I'm making this up, and you're a fool.
Oryn definitely thinks you're like talking to a god, and that's how he ended up turned into a Medusa, so he's just like polite to the little invisible people, regardless of whether or not he can see them.
Cade is a warlock, and he worships the Raven Queen, so you never know.
You know who else used to worship the Raven Queen? Zitara.
Ouch.
That is true. Poor Oryn. Poor Oryn. Like, this trip is just reminders of his mother.
Maybe that's why you feel comfortable with us.
That could be why. He's very comfortable. He does walk in as well.
Okay, you walk into the grand entrance hall of Castle Weissnacht. In front of you, there's a large, ornate staircase which goes up to the next level. On either side, there are suits of armor standing proudly with their swords pointing downwards as they are wont to do. And then on each side of you, you also have large, ornate doors which go... Who knows where? Well, I know I've got a map, but you don't right now. However, as you walk through the front door, from nowhere and everywhere, you hear a voice ringing out throughout the castle, which says, It seems we have visitors. Those who would dare cross my entrance hall, I bid thee welcome. And, you'll have a fun time ahead of you if you wish to steal from me. However, I suspect that we may have things to talk about. So, if you wouldn't mind, if you wish for food and drink, you can head into the door to your left. If you need to, the word is, I believe in your tongue, go potty. You can go to the door on your right. Otherwise, I will be down with you shortly, and we will eat and we will talk, because I believe we have some things to discuss.
Oryn, raises his hand, and he says, magical voice dude, you look really rich, and I hate to ask this, but do you have, an extra shirt and pants?
The voice comes back. I'm sure we can sort something out for you. What size cape do you wear?
Extra tall. I'm 7 feet tall.
We can probably manage that.
Thank you.
As you say that, Cade has a little aha moment and pulls down his pack and starts rummaging through it, because he has one set of common clothing that he hands you, but he is 6'3", so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to fit.
Like a 4-foot tall outfit on a 5-foot tall person.
Yeah. It's going to be a little tight, but it'll be clean.
Well, the good news is Oryn is very hot. So it just makes his butt look good. He is a teenager. He cares about these things. But he definitely cuffs the pants, because he's like, I guess capris. And he says, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, on the upside, if you walk in the mud in those, you won't get them dirty, because, they stop at your ankles.
That is true. Capris and a crop top, essentially.
Yeah, you might have to tear the sleeves off as well, so it's more of a vest.
Good thing this is not a fashion show.
Yeah, Tanager would be dying.
He would be dying.
Well, better fashion dying than actual dying, right?
That's true.
Suppose I could let you use the disguise kit.
Oryn looks at you guys and says, thank you for the clothes. I still hope he brings a cloak so I don't freeze. But food?
You two can go on ahead. I'm sure Olive's hungry by now. I'm going to hit the little boy's room.
Great. Oryn goes towards the door that was indicated for food.
Yeah. Woo, food. I'm an obligate carnivore who likes to sample all the stuff you guys eat that's it's like herbs to me. I'm like, what's this flavor?
Okay. Olive and Oryn, the O team, head towards the food door, as we are now calling it. Through there, it's a very large, fancy dining room. The table is effectively golden, and all the chairs around it are also golden with a red velvet cushioning. There are a number of seats lined along it. It's a very long table, and on it are piled various foods. So there's large a chicken-like creature, or cooked, obviously. There's piles of fruit and sweet corn and vegetables, and there are flasks of what seems to be wine. It's a very dark red wine. And you look at it and you're like, how did he manage to sort this so quickly? But it all seems pretty sweet.
Is the food warm?
It seems an obvious thing, but we'll go through the whole thing with, if you give me a perception check. Obviously you can just poke it, see if it's warm, but you can get smells, and you can get a good vibe check.
18.
I want a vibe check.
Yeah.
Vibe checks for everyone apart from Cade.
18. Just is this
18 on the vibe?
guinea fowl still warm?
It's 11 on the vibe check for Oryn.
Okay, Olive, your vibe check is like pinging. You've got a like food radar. So you're like, I can ignore the vegetables. Not interested. Let's look at this meat here. So there's a plate of like blood sausage, which you're like, actually, this is like a delicacy in Nicomoy. You don't see a lot of it, but when you do, it is very expensive. So just having a plate like piled high, you're like, I may need to steal this. However, looking at like the large birdie type creature, that definitely smells seemingly to be like warm. It hasn't, not like it's just come out of whatever you would cook it in, but you know it stayed warm. So maybe you think, I don't know. Well, you're a chef, right? You know, you'd be like, well, this can't, you know, this has to be cooked for at least 6 hours beforehand, just due to its size. Otherwise, you get, you know, nasty diseases in the middle. So obviously, someone has to have either cooked this for a long time, or it's been magically cooked, or maybe it's just been kept warm. Maybe the plates, you know, maybe like they've got like a system of steam underneath to keep the the plates warm. Oryn, you have a look at maybe the vegetables. Your snakes are eyeing some of the eggs on the table, but everything seems, as far as you can tell, it seems fairly decent as far as you know.
Oryn's gonna sit down and start piling a plate so he can eat because he's hungry. Because again, he's a teenager and probably growing still. But he looks at Olive and he says, well, the man has a theme and he sticks to it. I guess we can respect that.
Yeah. I'm going to try the food before you do, so that if you, like, start... Oh, wait. That's right, I have a character sheet. I totally forgot about that.
That exists.
That exists. Yeah, totally forgot about this. Okay, so I'm going to try to put a leg of what sounds kind of like a turkey, not a guinea fowl. So I'm going to try to put this like cassowary leg into my mouth and do this before Oryn can die of poisoning. So I'm like doing it fast, like snatch, yoink, chomp.
Okay, you snatch the leg from Oryn's hand before, and you chomp it. I mean, in your opinion, it could do with a bit more seasoning. It seems maybe a little dry, but that could just be your chef taste buds at work. But as it goes down your gullet, you don't think it's necessarily poisoned. It's just a bit bland.
Okay, and I'm using Hungry Jaws. Bonus action: bite and gain my Constitution modifier number of temporary hit points once between short rests. So now I have 66 hit points instead of 64. Just temporarily. So, Oryn, this seems safe. I tested it for you.
Thanks. He really appreciates it, even though he's not saying it out loud.
You're welcome. I might have taken you by surprise, but I'm just doing my job, keeping you safe. Yeah. Oh, wait, we lost a party member.
No, still here.
Speaking of, let's take a trip to the toilet with Cade.
This is an adventure? Oh no.
Death by toilet.
Well, it can be. Death by toilet, what a life.
The final embrace, the toilet seat.
So, as Cade is attending to business, and once he's finished, he wants to inspect the room for any, he's been in many castles. He's just kind of looking for like secret doors and things like that.
Okay, so the latrines themselves, there is a bath on one side, once again ornate. It's like marble or whatever you make baths out of, enamel, I guess. Similarly, there's a basin shaped in the shape of a shell. It's got some like mermaid decorated taps and a large mirror, so you can see your pretty little face and all the mud that's currently on it from Oryn's splash zone. And then also up against the other side, you have the toilets themselves, which are basically just more or less a trough, but with like seats on top. So if you can imagine like a long box with holes cut in the top. So you
fancy tub, fancy sink, and ghetto toilets. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much. hey, they're already going to get, muddy. Why would you spend money on the stuff which,
I suppose.
Yeah.
So after Cade's done washing his face off and everything, he wants to inspect the area for like trapdoors, levers, things like that. Two-way mirrors, maybe.
Okay, well, for this investigation, can you guess? That's right, it's animal handling. No, I'm just kidding. It's an investigation roll.
Yeah, it's a...
I was going to say streetwise, but that's a 4th edition thing.
14.
14. Okay, no trapdoors you can spot, but sticking your head down one of the toilets, you hear some sort a faint rattling, maybe of wind. So you're thinking, okay, sewage pipe could be escape route, could be entrance point if anyone needs it, but not exactly the best way of coming up.
So since Cade didn't find anything, he washes his hands and I guess his head again since he stuck it in the trough. And proceeds to go to the dining room.
Okay, you walk back through the entrance hall. Give me a perception check as you go through.
Oh, no. 8.
Okay, you'll notice that as you walk through, the large doors have shut behind you. But otherwise, everything, as far as you can tell, is... as it was, everything's very still, very silent. But going back into the door with the food in, you come across your compatriots eating and laughing about what subject, people?
There's a duck inside the turkey.
Yes.
Whoa. What's inside the duck?
Cade looks... a quail.
A guinea fowl.
And then in the quail is the guinea fowl.
And there's just a hamster in the middle. How large is the bird? The big bird?
Big bird's in this too. Uh-oh. It's maybe about 2 feet long.
Okay. Just trying to make sure they weren't eating a kinku. You never know around here.
Baby kenku.
We could be.
Now, I think you'd know if it was kenku. They tend to be a bit more stringy than other birds.
Are they more or less stringy than zombie pirate monkeys?
I'd say you're less stringy just because they actually have meat on them. And, what they do have is not rotting.
Ah. Cade's facepalm was worth it.
But yeah. Yeah, kenku is very much more of a red meat. It's like pigeon, Okay, maybe you haven't eaten pigeon. Okay. Yeah, it's sort of gamey, a bit stringy. I think Aarakocra would be a bit meatier in terms of if you want to eat other player races.
Yeah, so you guys know you could maybe clean off a little in the bathroom. Just saying.
Yes.
As he watches you eat while you're just disgusting.
Mud is a important protective coating.
All right, to each his own. Or her own.
The vomit is just decoration.
I guess Cade walks over and makes himself a plate. He eyes the food very suspiciously because, like you said, he's wondering why it was already laid out, why there's a feast laid out if there's no one in attendance. So he would like to do... I guess he doesn't know that Olive's already checked the food, so he wants to also check the food for, make sure it's not an illusion or anything like that.
Okay, give me some sort of magic-y vibe. Magic-y vibe check is different from a regular vibe check because there's magic involved.
13.
13 for a magic-y vibe check. There's definitely some sort of magic around the place, to do with the food. But Olive kind of leans over and goes, they've probably just cooked it quickly with it. It takes ages otherwise, and then goes back to chomping.
I'm sorry. Does a vibe check, is it a straight D20 or does it include any modifier?
Add your intelligence.
So now it's a 12.
Okay. Yeah, so Olive says that, and you're like, yeah, sounds about right.
So yeah, Cade makes him a plate and sits down with his friends to partake.
Okay, the food is fairly tasty. As we mentioned earlier, the meat is a bit dry, bit bland, but often is with those sorts of temperatures around climate. That's the word I was looking for, not temperature. Climate tends to be a bit blander. After a little while, you hear a sort of a whooshing noise coming from the far end, and out of a grate in the ceiling comes a great flock of bats, and they swirl around the top of the table, and like around one of the chairs up there. They swim round in a big old circle, and then fly back up into that same grate, and sat there is a person dressed in a very like almost a tuxedo, but there's no tie. But he is wearing a very voluminous cape. Assuming I'm using the word voluminous right, which I don't think I am.
I think you are, and you need a little bit more self-confidence.
Well, we'll
Cade,
see.
Upon seeing this spectacle, Cade absent-mindedly reaches into his pocket and grabs his cracked symbol of Torm. Doesn't pull it out, he just holds it in his hand in his pocket.
Okay.
Literally thinking, oh god.
Yeah, exactly.
Oryn applauds.
Olive did not snatch, like catching a missile, one of the bats out of the air. Olive did not do that.
Well, your mouth is full already, isn't it? So
yeah,
you're a bit busy. Already eating.
Yeah.
So the man at the top of the table now surveys you all and goes, "Oh, here you are. Welcome. Sorry about the entrance. The bats aren't properly trained yet, but welcome to Castle Weissnachts. Hope you make yourselves at home. Well, not too much, obviously. But yes, my name is, I'm Count Weissnachts. This castle is named for me. Or am I named after the castle? Ooh, no, it's the other way around. The castle is named after me. Anyway, I believe we have things to talk about, you and I. Well, all you and me. Yes. I believe you were sent here by the village down the way, correct?
Sort of. The village sent the Sanguine Guild, and that's not necessarily... We're free agents? Yeah, free agents.
That's a nice way of saying mercenaries, you know.
Okay, I was going to say, last time they came, they went up through this, I can only call it a poo tube, because they came up through the sewage. They smelled horrible when they came and accosted me.
Accosted
but
you?
But no. Well, I was busy. What can they say?
Oh gosh, this is like people are afraid of rats coming out of their toilets. I know, you were busy. We don't have to get into the details of that.
You've got mercenaries coming out of the toilet.
Yeah. Oh man. No, as free agents, it's possible we might represent your interests.
Oh. Well, it seems in this case our aims may be aligned because, as you will no doubt have noticed, the town down there are, let's face it, absolute monsters. And I'm not just being figurative, they are actual monsters.
You're a Medusa, I'm a crocodile, and that guy sees dead people. And you're a vampire. Hey, let's not judge.
Hey, he's wearing a suit. He seems good.
Can we ask why the villagers want you gone?
You can say why peasants want what they want, but so I was going to suggest a counter proposal, if you will, because as you can imagine, I have quite a lot of riches within the castle. Instead of as I imagine they've sent you here to do, instead of trying to kill me and take me out, what if I paid you to go back down into town and kill all the people there? They are monsters. They do not deserve to live. Then you can go your way, I can go mine, and we will both live our lives in comfort.
So, Oryn kind of perks up and he's like petting his hair, like, chill, snakes, chill. At the word monster, they're a little upset. And he's like, okay, so I guess Colt. I assumed Colt. But, like, they said you kidnap people. Can you just, like, I don't know, explain? Because we got real weird vibes there. But, like, kidnapping people, are you actually doing that?
Well, they may call it kidnap. I just call it reappropriation of peasant.
Olive puts down the turkey leg. Reappropriation into what?
Well, just put it this way, the world gives us questions, and I seek to find the answers. So if those monsters can help provide answers, then I just borrow them for a short time. I put them back.
You put them back?
And
then why are there so many empty homes?
Well, not all the experiments go, you'll say, hunky-dory.
So they're vampires down there, yes?
Well, some of them are, yes.
And Oryn's like forcing the words out. He's like, you are... Because he understands he might be being very rude, but he needs to know.
Well, let's not get bogged down by, who is what, am I a vampire? Yes, sometimes no, but the important thing is I am able to pay you a lot more than those peasants down there.
Do you have magic items?
What, just in general, or to give you?
Well, I've been looking for a particular couple of items. Oryn is definitely, like, considering this, y'all, just so you're aware.
Well, let's, we can talk afterwards. I'm sure we'll be able to find, objects that, satisfy your desires.
After the townspeople are gone, and Oryn has his daggers, won't you be all alone in this castle with no peasants to entertain you?
I will find my own entertainment, but for the time being, they locked me in my tower for a year. Honestly, I could just do without them. I don't want them there anymore. I was content to let them, live what they would call their life.
There were some air quotes there, listeners.
There were some air quotes. I was content with them being there, and I will just borrow one occasionally, send them back, but then, they sent a group of adventurers after me, and apparently the tables have turned, and now I just want them gone. Look, they're monsters. Right? Do they deserve to live? No. They're peasants. Do they deserve to live? No. I have a lot of money. I can give you, a lot of money. We can both go our separate ways.
If you have so much money, why don't you simply buy them out? Buy all the land, bulldoze the houses, and then there's no town around you. Like, why bother going through our channels? Why not just use your wealth?
Well, let's just say you came to me. Seems cheaper this way. Rich people don't stay rich by spending money.
Don't you need someone raising the farm animals? They say you come down and grab some sheep every now and then. How will you do that if there's no one down there raising them?
Sheep live on their own. Not an issue.
They really don't. You gotta shave them like at least every 6 years, or they don't live very long at all.
Okay, I will engineer special sheep to not grow. It's a work in progress, all right? This is my problem. They're going to attack like tomorrow.
Are you just like hangry? Is this a hangry thing?
Hang on a second. Takes a bite of meat and a swig of the wine and go, no, I'm pretty sure I want them all killed.
Is this like a loneliness thing? Like, do you have a Mr. or a Mrs. Weissnacht? Or are you all alone in this castle?
Well, at the moment, I'm not technically alone. But anyway, I think we're getting a bit distracted. I'm sure you do.
Yep. Okay, question. We do this thing for you. We kill all the villagers. You're all alone in this castle. What do you do after that? Like, you're all alone in this castle. You've got no one to experiment on. You've got no one to potentially court. I don't know, your count. You maybe want to make some little count babies to inherit after, I don't know, like, what is the meaning of your life, Count Weissnacht?
He stops and ponders this for a moment. Well, I can live a quiet existence. I mostly just don't want them drinking. But anyway.
Wait. We're mostly just drinking.
Oh no, the people down in town.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what do you do for fun? Come on, let's hang. Let's have some good times. We don't have to stay here. You don't have to stay here in this castle. You can list this place for sale. You can go to the Trulia or Zillow of the fantasy town. You can convert all of your assets to cash and just come to Nicomoy with us and hang out. Why would you stay here? This place, I mean, it's a very nice castle, but that town is shit. We've been there. The people there are weird. What? You don't have to stay here. Come adventuring with us, my dude.
This is an interesting one. However, we have rules for such an occasion.
I'm sure my friends could tell you more about Nicomoy. Please, Warlock. Please, Warlock. Please.
I don't know. Olive has been taking the brunt of this conversation. I think it's her that really needs to try and hammer it home with some sort of persuasion check.
I could get a natural 20, DM. It could happen.
Can Oryn be helping by when she talks about the town, popping up behind her with jazz hands saying, "Cult stuff. Get away from the cult stuff."
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
They're very good jazz hands. He's a dancer, so he can do them very well.
The first one was a 2.
Oh, God.
The next one was a 1. Oh, my God. What the...
The dice gods have answered.
Why? I rolled it around, too. Gosh.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
That's a 0.
Okay.
Or a 1 because of the advantage.
I hope we're all learning something today.
Games based on dice rolls are stupid.
We shouldn't have let Olive take the negotiation.
And don't let your crocodile talk.
Seem to remember last time you negotiated something that didn't go well.
Why do I talk?
See, I've learned in these sessions is if there's something wildly that will probably not happen, and Olive is like, "Hey, how about we do this?" I'd be like, "Yeah, roll me a persuasion check." It doesn't happen. Okay. The Count looks at you and goes, "I see what you're talking about. Well, I will think on your proposal. However, I think I may need to find some other people to do my bidding."
No. I'll tell you what. Do you mind if we have a group huddle in private and we'll just discuss your offer? Does that work for you?
You're welcome to. You may meet in the main hall if you should so choose, and I will leave you to it. And the cloud of bats comes back down from the ceiling and swirl around him, and he disappears into nothingness.
I definitely catch a bat this time.
Okay, Deck, just give me a sleight of hand check for...
Oh, okay. Well, it's the deflect missiles. use your reaction to deflect or catch the missile when hit by a ranged weapon attack. So if I step into the cloud of bats and one hits me, I can just...
Just open your mouth, fly in.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to basically, just stick your hand out and wait for one to fly into it.
Do they fly close to the snakes?
Probably not. It's quite a tight circle. Maybe 5 feet from end to end. Just round him and up.
Because it did occur to me that bats look like small rats, and I have snakes for hair. So, that could have gone very poorly.
Let's go out here and discuss this.
Right.
There's two ways we can. There's a few ways we can go. There's a few ways we can go about this. The way I see it, we can either take the Count up on his offer, and maybe we get a reward, or maybe we have to fight him either way. We could help the villagers out for a guaranteed reward, and if you think about it, if we kill the Count, we pretty much have our run of the place. So instead of him, paying us, we could just take whatever we want. Just throwing that out there.
But hear me out. Oryn kind of he looks kind of embarrassed to be suggesting this, but he's like, private funding from a donor for anything we want to do if we help this man out. And we're not a part of the cult stuff.
Cade mentions, well, the donor is into slavery, but I see your point.
Well, I mean, you could be your own donor if, as Cade proposed, we kill the Count and take everything in this castle from him.
I feel like killing the Count is a bad choice.
Because...
Or, last option, we kill them all.
And then burn the place down and walk away from all the riches as they burn.
Exactly.
These are many options that we have before us. We could also leave and report this to is there a council on genocide that we could be there's one gonna happen? Could we tell?
Also, something Cade just has the little, you see the ding go off. How do we get home? Also, where are we?
Double
Yeah, we don't know how the laws in this place work. This could be all perfectly legal because we don't know where we are. We could be in another country. I mean,
we could be in a whole other plane of existence for all we know.
Yeah, we could. So it's really just how do we feel about the ethics of this situation? You want to talk to Albrecht?
Sure, that works.
That could help us make up our mind.
Who's Albrecht?
The brother we're here to save.
Oh, right. Oh, what if we ask to see the people he's kidnapped? Because he just kidnapped the brothers, so we might get a little bit more information on the ethics of his experimentation.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if nothing else...
He's more or less told us that many of them don't make it. So...
Yeah. Well, they could just catch pneumonia.
Pneumonia from having their selves experimented on.
I mean, I think seeing that might cause some opinions to be formed in this group.
It's fine by me.
Yeah.
Do we ask the Count how to find? Or do we just wander? Yeah, do we ask for a tour, or do we just wander around aimlessly?
I do still have that bat that I ate.
You guys could sneak. I could charm.
Yeah, you don't sneak so well.
How much does Cade know about vampires?
You'd probably have to answer that one.
How long have you been with the guild, Cade?
For a long time.
Oh yeah, you met you met Crud Jr.
I was gonna say, if you've met Crud Jr., and then there's a couple vampires within the guild floating around.
Eloin.
Yep. So if you've been there a while, you might have at least a working knowledge.
Okay. Cade mentions, isn't it really difficult to charm a vampire? As in almost impossible?
Yes.
I may or may not have been... There's and he's like stumbling, but he looks at you and he's like, there's a girl I really like at the guild, and I may or may not have asked for some tips. I could probably at least keep him entertained enough. I mean, I'm a dancer. It's fine. I will keep him entertained.
Wait, who do you like? Ooh.
He is not going to tell you.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Is it tangible? She's so small and cute. Prettiest person in Nikamui.
He just like keeps blushing because he's like, I don't want to tell you.
Ah. Okay. Count Weissnacht.
Wait, are we doing the sneaking thing? Oh.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Oryn dance? You seem bored.
Seems a bit of an odd question.
Well, I bet you haven't seen him dance, have you?
I mean, no.
Oh, and then Oryn's wearing this like too short shirt, so like your six pack is showing.
Hey, you never know. The count might be up for that, you know?
Everybody loves beautiful people.
Exactly.
Oryn raises his hand and he says, this castle seems elegant. I would love to do a performance in your ballroom. He's just assuming there's a ballroom. He doesn't actually know if there's one.
Very well. Come over to the, just into the main hall. I will, see you there.
Wonderful. And Oryn heads off.
Okay, so Oryn, you go into the main hall, which is still empty, and you hear the voice ringing out once again, which says, "Oh, so sorry, little one, I can't make it. However, I do have a couple of friends here to keep you company." And you know those suits of armor I mentioned earlier on? Yeah, they're gonna spring into life and walk menacingly towards Oryn. And that's where we're gonna call this half of the episode. Thank you for joining us. And if you're in Quebec or some other part of French Canada or some other part of the world, for any reason, feel free to leave us some sort of review. Ideally 5 stars because, hey, why not? You only get to review once. Anyway, joining us this half were Cade.
Thank you for joining us.
Olive.
But we might still work for you. Why are you fighting us with suits of armor?
You remember that 0 and 1 you rolled?
Oh.
Anyway, let's see if this next person follows in his mother's footsteps. We have Oryn.
I might die. It's fine.
Well, we'll find out after the break. See you in a bit.
We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Please leave us a review on iTunes.com. You can subscribe to receive new episodes through your podcast player or by visiting firebreathingkittenspodcast.com or finding us on YouTube. Can you think of someone who might enjoy this podcast? Please share it with them. We don't pay to advertise this show, so the only way we can grow is through the support of listeners like you. Thank you. You can find more adventures on Amazon.com in the bookstore, Fire Breathing Kittens, all one word, podcast. That's right, you can curl up with a good book based on one of our podcast episodes. The authors do a really great job of adapting them into fun novels. We also have official merchandise on Redbubble.com. Yes, that's right, you really can own a notepad with the Fire Breathing Kitten logo on the front. Or one of your favorite characters.
Welcome back to the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. I hope you're all doing well. Anyways, let's get back into it, shall we? Joining us once again are Oryn.
I'm in danger.
Very true. Very true. Olive.
Yeah, you are. I love the reference.
And Cade.
Let's do this.
Okay, Oryn, you're the one particularly in danger. Care to explain to the audience quickly how you got into this mess? Well, there's a little record scratch and you're like, well, this is me. How did I end up here?
Well, my life's a little crazy. So we got a missent package at the guild that was supposed to end up at a different guild, probably a more competent guild, to come and defeat a count who is wreaking havoc on this village. Well, we get to the village, and we were welcomed by what could potentially be a cult. The jury is still technically out on that one. And we drank a lot, and Oryn got to perform, and then we decided, hey, maybe we shouldn't just go blindly kill a guy. Let's go have a chat with him. Which, in retrospect, we could have died very quickly. So we go and chat with the count, and he counter offers, and he is very rich, and he feeds us. And he says that we should kill the villagers because they're monsters, which, out of our party, that's kind of offensive. Because most of us are what would be considered monsters. So now we don't know what to do, so we decide to go back and try to distract and investigate, and that is how my companions are hopefully investigating and finding information, and Oryn is now facing down with some suits of armor as a very squishy sorcerer. It's fine. It's all fine.
Well, yeah. Olive and Cade are still in the dining room as you wandered off, so they're only one room away. So I'm sure if you shouted for help, they would be able to come to your aid. However, right now, you will need to, Oryn, roll me some initiative.
Yeah. 16.
Okay, and... okay. Yes, you get to move first. I will write this down so I do not lose track. This is why I picked an extra bit of paper up, so I could write this down, because one of the last times I did Rand Combat, I forgot to bring some notes, so I ended up just writing on my desk. It's okay, I use pencil. Okay, so the other two, I'm assuming you're going to jump in at combat at some point, so if I could just get you to roll initiative so we don't have to do it right, sort it when the time comes. So what's going to happen? 13, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
23.
23 for Olive. Lovely. Okay, so what is going to happen is that we will have at least one full round of just Oryn and the armors. There are 4 of them, by the way. And then after that point, if you two, at that point want to come rushing in because you've heard a load of clanking noises and Oryn screaming that, I don't know, like, it's like, this isn't a dance recital. Then we'll start up at the top of initiative. But as it stands, Oryn, it's your move. You've got 4 suits of armor kind of equally surrounding you, moving in menacingly, swords drawn.
So they're in a circle around me?
Well, it's square. There are 4 of them.
Okay.
But they're more or less equidistant, yeah.
The reason I ask is because I'm going to walk towards one corner of the square, and I'm going to cast behind me to try to, cut the corner off the square and put 3 on the other side. Wall of fire. And it stretches up to 60 feet long. So whatever the length of the room is, that's what he's aiming for.
Okay, so you're boxing yourself in with one of them.
Yes. And keeping the other 3 away.
So smart.
That sounds tactical.
36 hit points. I'm gonna die.
Okay, just run me through how Wall of Fire works. Okay,
I have it pulled up. So it's one action. The range is 120 feet. And it's concentration up to a minute. You create a wall of fire on a solid surface within range. You can make the wall up to 60 feet long, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick. Or I can make a ringed wall up to 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick. The wall is opaque and lasts for the duration. When the wall appears, each creature hidden within its area must make a dex saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 5d8 fire damage or half as much damage on a successful save. One side of the wall selected by you when you cast the spell deals 5d8 damage to each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of that side or inside the wall. The creature takes the same damage when it enters the wall for the first time on its turn or ends its turn there. The other side of the wall deals no damage. And I'm actually going to use that. No, it's just going to be 4th level, so we're good. So it's just the 5d8.
Only 5d8?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Are you boxing off the ones that are on the other side, like away from us, the toilet side?
Yes. He is trying to keep himself on the same side as the door that his party members could potentially come through while cutting 3 of them off.
Okay, that's weirdly tactical behavior from this group. Doesn't usually happen, folks, but here we are. Okay, you've cut 3 off. There's a wall of fire raging diagonally across the entrance hall. However, you have had to back more or less towards one of the suits of armor, who is now going to swing at you because you've nicely backed into his swinging zone. So let's hit you for... You have a plus hit to hit. Oh, sorry, I looked at what I rolled. 23 to hit.
Oh God, yes, because he doesn't even have armor on. Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you will take... You'll take 6 points of slashing damage, and while we're here, make a concentration roll. So that's just a Constitution, isn't it? I think you've just got to roll above 10 to keep it.
Oh no, wait. Is it a Constitution saving throw?
Yes, I think so. Without checking it.
It's exactly 10.
I think that sounds right.
Exactly 10.
I will double check this because I don't want to be wrong. You type concentration into D&D Beyond and it comes up with everything that has the word concentration in it, apart from the one. That's it.
That you need.
Do you want me to read it from Roll20?
If you've got it handy, yes, please.
Okay. Whenever you take damage while you are concentrating on a spell, you must make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration. The DC equals 10 or half the damage you take, whichever number is higher. So, meet it to beat it, you got a 10.
Okay, good. So, the suit of armor swings its sword of you, rakes you across the shoulder, and you flinch, and the fire seems to stutter a moment, but it comes back in full force because you've only just managed to pull that one off. The others are going to stay within their bounds of that side of the fire because 5d8, they don't know it, but I'm fairly confident even those sorts of suits of armor will know that walking through fire, not necessarily the best idea.
Melt them into ash. I'm also going to cry out help.
That's a good move. Okay, that is all for the time being. Cade and Olive, you hear your friend just cry out for help from the other room. What do?
We just look at each other. Yeah, we just look at each other, and I guess we both burst through the door.
Yeah.
Assuming he hasn't locked it.
No, it's not locked here. That would have been a good idea. I should have thought of that, but no, it's okay. No, you run through into the main entrance hall. You see and feel just this waft of fire. It's like just standing straight up. You see some of the curtains on one side just starting to burn a little bit. Cade, you're like, is now the time?
I knew it.
Good job, Oryn.
Although you do see Oryn struggling a bit with a suit of armor more or less behind it. It would, if it could, raise its sword for another swipe. But here we are at the top of the round. Olive, it's your move, monk.
I would like to run up to the suit of armor, and I feel like I've done this before. Punch it. Having some experience with suits of armors and punching them, I'm like, I've done this before. Let's do it again. So monks have what's called Flurry of Blows. It says immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. And then, so I get 2 attacks normally, which probably both miss. So that's a 10 to hit. But then with my flurry of blows, a 13 and a 22 to hit.
The 22 does hit. So you slam your crocodilian fist into its plate, but you're like, ow, this is a lot tougher than the other one was.
Yep, and then 6...
And you try again at the same place. You go, nope, that is still tough. Science, it's about testing, right?
That spot's still hard.
Yeah. Let's write this down.
So my hands hurt a lot, and then I guess I go in for a bite or something.
Or like a tail swipe. A
tail swipe. And eventually I do 6 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Now, it says that because I'm a Way of the Open Hand monk, when Flurry of Blows hits, which it did, finally, woo! Do one of the following. So, armor, please make a strength saving throw.
It will. I rolled a 17, so 19.
Nothing happens. I did not push you through the wall of fire. But I tried.
It was worth a try. That's the important thing. You tried. Mm. Speaking of trying, if you're all finished with your turn, it's up to Oryn.
Yeah.
I guess Oryn's just going to try to back away, and I know that's going to trigger an attack of opportunity, but he's trying to get out of the way so he can keep the fire up.
If you use your action to take the disengage action, you can then move with no attack of opportunity.
I'm going to do that.
That is true. Probably a good idea, because...
Yes, so I'm just going to move away and keep up the firewall. And as I'm moving, I'm pointing at the wall and saying, there's 3 more over there.
Go hide in the toilet.
The toilet's on the other side of the firewall.
Oh, go hide in the turkey.
And that's all I can do.
Okay, so you've moved yourself out of range of the suit of armor that was attacking you previously. Good. We still got 3 on the other side. But this suit of armor is going to turn around now and focus on Olive because it felt something slamming into the back of it. Not quite sure what. But it's going to... Ineffectual slaps. Oh! But is going to swing at you. And something I misread earlier is that it does actually get 2 attacks. So I will remember that now. So it's going to swing at Olive twice. One of them was like a 4 or a 6. Yeah, it was a 6. And the other one was an 18 to hit.
That hits.
That hits. Okay, so you will take another 8 points of slashing damage.
The temporary hit points go away first. I'm down to 58 hit points.
You hold your scaly arms up to defend yourself, and it glances off your bulky forearms.
Natural armor is what we like to call it.
We can call it scaly bulk if we need to.
I know I've got a lot of bulk, but we don't have to talk about it.
Meanwhile, the other 3 are more or less just glaring menacingly from the other side of the fire. They're like, why I oughta?
Good, they can die mad about it.
Cade, you're up. You've got 1 suit of armor that's just attacked Olive. Oryn is more or less cowering behind you now. And we've got 3 suits of armor on the other side.
So which one's closest to me?
The one who's just attacked Olive. There's only 1 suit of armor on your side of the firewall.
So Cade raises his longsword and it morphs into a wicked-looking axe. And he fires 2 beams of eldritch energy into the suit that Olive's fighting. And he rolls an 19 to hit.
Okay, if we're eldritch blasting, you're going to need to roll for each beam.
Each beam? Okay.
Yeah. And it's a bit of a pain.
And 19 to hit.
Oh, both 2 19s. Excellent. Both of them
Oh, no,
connect.
wait, sorry. I got to add That one's actually a dirty 20.
Oh, that's even better. Still hits. But your weapon forms into a sick axe, and you swirl it around your head. What color is your eldritch?
Black and green.
Black and green. Oh, nice. Black and green energy swirls around your head, and you fling it. I'm thinking like a lacrosse stick towards the suit of armor, where they both like converge on its chest plate. It's like so roll me some damage.
An 8 on the first beam, and a 4 on the second one. And then both of them get my charisma modifier, which is 5.
Okay, 8 and a 4 and 2 5s. That's 22 points of damage slamming right into that suit of armor. Tell you, this suit of armor is not doing so hot.
Har har.
But
we can make it hotter.
Still standing.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, back to the top of the round. Olive.
Olive is going to try to hit with flurry of blows again, this time not rolling a 2 and whatever. The first one, as if to make it up to me, was a natural 20. So I'm like, oh, I see. You put your fingers in between the visor, right there. The first 2 blows were a natural 20 and a 22, and they probably hit for 16 damage, right?
Yeah, trust me. Okay, so how this works is...
Can you roll a strength saving throw? And can I kick you into the wall of fire?
I was going to say that anyway. Like,
yay!
I wouldn't even made you roll for that. So you stick your 2 fingers up its visor, like, and lift it off the ground. You spin it around and hurl it into the wall of fire, where it more or less melts as it passes through.
Woo. Ow, hot. And then I shake my fingers off.
Okay, so we now have 1 wall of fire and 3 suits of armor on the other side of it. Olive, you've still got any movement, or you can still do your flurry of blows, right? By if you move in between, right? You can attack, move, attack again, right?
I think so. The question is, do I want to jump into a wall of fire? And the answer is no. No, I do not. I think I'll stay on this side of the wall. I mean, if they cross through it, they have to take 5d8. I mean, it's a wall of fire, so it looks like it'd be pretty painful to cross through that, I say, without metagaming and knowing about the 5d8. And I'm like, how about if I just back up a little bit this way?
Okay, so Oryn.
Okay, so the suits of armor are not coming through the fire, so they're not mindless. So he looks behind him and he just says, "Cover your ears," and he drops the wall of fire, runs. Are they kind of within like 10 feet of each other?
They were 3 points of quite a largish square, so they were maybe like a 20 feet like square. So doing the math on this, they're 20 feet apart from each other, and then the 2 at the edge of that triangle, they're hypotenusing.
So I'm a ready in action, and I'm gonna ready shatter at 4th level. Hence the cover your ears, y'all. And he's gonna look at them and he's gonna say, "Nana nana boo boo, you can't catch me," and kind of take off 15 feet to try to get him to chase him.
Is the wall of fire still up? Because Shatter's not a concentration, so you can just...
Can I keep both up?
Shatter's not concentration, so... Right?
No, it's not. It's...
Yeah, so you don't have to drop wall of fire.
I can keep it? Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing stopping you from keeping that wall of fire up is if something hits you and breaks your concentration, or if you want to do a different concentration spell.
Okay, cool. I don't play magic people often.
No worries.
Okay, so then instead I'm going to keep the fire up, and I'm within 60 feet of one of them, yes? Yeah, I would have to be because we haven't moved.
Yeah.
So in between the 2 of them, so they're on the outside of the 10-foot radius sphere, I'm a cast Shatter at 4th level, so they need to give me a Constitution saving throw, and they need to beat a 17.
And by the way, Shatter does not require you to see the target, so you can cast it right through your opaque wall of fire. You're a very well-built character.
Oh. And then also, because they are both made of inorganic material, they both have disadvantage on that saving throw. So, and that is how they both fail. One of them I did roll a 20 on, but disadvantage, so what are you going to do?
How about 20 points of damage for 2 of them? And it's a loud ringing noise.
Okay.
Oryn saw that his mom died and decided, I want to make sure I can hurt things so they don't hurt me.
Yeah, you end up like screaming like a banshee. And the pain ringing ears, and any lamps that are in that room and a number of the windows all shatter as well. So there's a very strong sound of breaking glass.
Oops.
Burning the place down? Fun. Breaking their window? Oops.
And that's all I can do.
Okay. At this point, with the windows broken, they were all smudged and grimy at this point, which were a bit weird because, yeah, I mean, he's been trapped there a year. He hasn't got around to cleaning it properly yet. Those windows were all like smudged and grimy, but now with them shattered, the front-facing windows of the castle, they're all broken. And you can just see that dawn is starting to appear. You can see the sun just rising on the horizon. And you can hear from a distance a lot of people like shouting together and like chanting as if they're like as if there's some sort of angry mob on the way. Just to put that in everyone's minds. It's now coming to morning. Anyway, it is those armor's turns, and they're still on the other side of a big old firewall. So unfortunately, there's not a huge amount they can do besides.
I still don't take back the Nana Nana Boo Boo though. He definitely would have said that.
Why would you ever take back the Nana Nana Boo Boo? So I think at this point, one of the suits of armor, the one who did not get hit by those, will just. I mean, they can't really run, but they will like just see Oryn as like the bane of their existence, and will like take their sword and just walk straight through the fire to try and get to you.
So they're going to take.
So that's that 5d8, right?
Yep. Ooh, the dice gods are smiling on me today. For now. 26. 33.
Okay.
Points of damage.
That's a lot. So as the suit of armor walks through this massive wall of fire, it just stares straight forward. It doesn't have eyes, but you get the feeling, Oryn, that its gaze is fixed upon you. So as it walks through the fire, its armor starts to contort and melt up to a point so that when it comes out of the other side, it's red hot and furious. So it stomps towards you as much as it can, and with its I'm going to tell you, it's got 1 HP left. It's basically dead. So I will say, with its like dying move, it swings its like molten sword directly at like Oryn, and we'll try and hit. Shall we?
Oryn's 30 feet back. I'm near the firewall, so Oryn's 60 feet away from.
I mean, we can try and hit you.
It would have to face an opportunity attack to walk past me to get to Oryn, because I'm closer.
We'd also have to dash, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Because it's 60 feet away, so it was behind the firewall, and then there's the firewall, and then there's Olive, and then the last thing Oryn did was disengage and run backwards.
Okay, let me just do some brief maths, because there's only a certain amount of room available. Give me a sec.
Yeah. Hopefully the monk does something useful here. That is simply being in the way.
Hopefully the monk is not going to burn their hands.
That's okay. I got teeth and tail.
Because I don't think any of us are healers.
Oh, that's right.
I have 2 levels in Paladin.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
nice.
I can heal. I can heal a little boo boo. That's about it.
Okay, so looking at the map, just the one I crudely drew earlier, with Oryn more or less at the door to the dining room, the wall of fire more or less goes like halfway across the entrance hall, pretty much, like diagonally. So if they're on one side of it, they'd have to get over to the other side. Now they started as maybe a 20-foot square each.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 3 of them going across. So if 2 of them got hit, then it depends. I think feasibly, yeah, they would have to go past, or at least within 5 feet of Olive in order to try and hit. Oryn. So many O's. They get wound up. They're like, yeah, cereal. But if you don't mind, it'd be a cool visual because it's going to die anyway. Like, let it do something cool in its, like, meaningless existence.
I mean, okay, you can hit my friend.
It'll be fine. As it passes by,
Yeah.
Oryn probably looks at Olive and is just like, it's melting. It won't hit.
It's got to pass me too.
Yeah, you both look at it. I think maybe like Oryn was like, let me come. Let me try. I can't be babysit for that long. But I will tell you, like, this one is going to die like with its like trying to do this, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But it did go for a 22 to hit, so go for another.
Yeah, that hits.
Go for another 8 points of damage. Some of that will be a bit of fire, but that's okay. But with the hit, it does like crumble to the floor, and also please roll me a Constitution saving throw for your concentration. It's okay. There are only 2 left. You're fine.
It'll be fine, and it's a dirty 20 for that saving throw.
Okay, so you get like hit like across the chest, but it's the blade is so like melty and rubbish that it's basically just a club at this point, and you just stare ahead at it as it wilts in front of you and it just melts at your feet, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a badass.
Nice.
And the wall of fire stays put.
Oryn, get in the room with the food. I will have no more of you being hit by these suits of armor. Go in the room. Just concentrate on that wall. Maybe cast a shatter and then leave.
How attached are we to this castle out of character real fast?
Loot.
I'm worried about Albrecht. I'm concerned they may still be alive and rescuable.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Okay, well, when it's my turn again, I'll do something different.
I also don't know how well stone walls burn down. Castles are usually made with stone, at least exteriors, right? So, like, our wanton arson will need to find another victim.
Okay.
Yeah. I would totally burn this down, but victim stone.
That's fair.
There's some uninhabited houses we could definitely burn down. I love burning down uninhabited houses.
True. Whose turn is it now?
Oh, yeah, we're back up to the top of the round. It's Olive's go. There are 2 very almost dead suits of armor on the other side of the wall. They've just seen their comrade. Did you? Oh, yes, you did. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Apologies. Cade, yes, you shout to the voices in your head, no, it's my turn.
Can I see the other 2 suits? Are they visible?
No, the wall is opaque.
Doesn't say I have to see them at all, though. So, I'm going to fire an Eldritch Blast at each one. First one's a 19. Nice. Good God. Oh, and the next one's a 10. I don't guess a 10 hits.
No, the 10 does not hit.
So the one that hits takes 11 points of force damage.
Okay. 11 points of damage for that one. And then the other one missed. Whoops. Okay, you blast 2 lots of Eldritch Blast through the fire, and you hear a clanking noise on the other side. Well, so you know at least one of them did hit.
Oh, I got at least one.
Okay, got at least one. And now we're back to the top of the round with Olive, which I think it may just be shouting, like cheerleading for the magic users here.
Yeah. I watch as the black and green Eldritch Blast shoots into the wall of fire, and I got fists. So I'm like, you go, guys! Yeah! And then I ready a flurry of blows. If anything emerges from that wall of fire that is hostile towards me or my companions, I will punch it. I end my turn.
Okay, well, trust me, if anything comes walking out, it's not coming out alive. Okay, Oryn, I reckon you can finish this off.
Yeah, it's for sure not going to be alive after this.
I'm like, I'll protect you. And then you're like, I'm going to kill all the enemies. And I was like, I got you, little boy. And you're like, I killed all of them. And I'm like, you're so cute. You're 7 feet tall with snake hair.
And like super like muscular because I'm a dancer. Like, yeah. So I'm a cast fireball on the other side of the wall. Just throwing that out there. So they need to do a dex save.
Fireball's limited by visibility, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you can probably drop the firewall and eat your fireball.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I drop the fireball and then I point a finger and I just go whoosh.
Wait, it's
okay.
Not. You don't have to see in fireball. Oh gosh, darn it. Well, my tunnel fireballs would have been way more cool then.
I mean, either way.
They could like appear out of the wall of fire as it's coming down. Or the one. Yeah. Boom. What did he get on his dex save?
I don't think it matters. Because they still get like half damage on a successful save, right?
Yes.
So otherwise it's what? Is it 66 or 8d6?
It is 8d6.
Oh my goodness.
And I actually rolled 2 short, so I need to roll 2 more. So if they fail, that's 25 points of damage. And the curtains are burned.
And if they succeed, it's 13 because we round up.
Round down in D&D.
I don't want to. I want to round up. Just because like one of them has the highest HP is 13, so I'm just gonna go yoink. Basic maths says round up. I'm gonna go maths.
Do they melt into piles?
Well, I mean it's a fire blast. They would have to explode, surely.
That works too.
We say a half melt, half explode. It's a melt splode. As you send chunks of red hot armor flying all over the entrance hall. So at least 4 more sets of curtains are now on fire. It does seem to be manageable, though. I think it'll put itself out in time. However, did the wall of fire stay up, or did you drop it? And
I'll say I dropped it and like shot the fireball as it was dropping. in a
so you could say something cool. Yeah. Okay, so there's like this line of scorch going from one side of the entrance hall to the other, and the windows are smashed, or the lamps are smashed. The curtains are on fire, and yeah, I think this is about right for a regular adventure, isn't it? However, at this point, the villagers have made it to. We can give me some creative time management here. Once everything's dropped and you've been able to gather your breath a bit, the villagers have made it to the bridge, which, moved, across the gap to the front of the castle. But all the gargoyles which were on the bridge are now not on the bridge. They're very much above the bridge and attacking the villagers.
While we're watching this spectacle, Cade walks up and gives Oryn a lay on hands, healing 10 damage.
Yay.
Because that's all he can heal.
That is 1/3 of my hit points, so that is great.
Cool. Well, we are now out of combat. We have some villagers getting attacked by gargoyles, but that can wait. If you want, you've got a castle to go and explore should you so wish. Or, we've still got a count who's tried to get rid of you now. So has that soured your relationship at all, or is it worth saving?
Olive would like to throw the door to the castle open and lower the bridge for them. But what do you guys think?
Let them suffer. They made their choices.
I think they can take the few gargoyles. I say if we kill the count, the gargoyles will just, stop.
Olive looks wistfully at the villagers being attacked by gargoyles, and her friends take her elbow and steer her into the castle.
Oryn raises his hand again. He's utterly convinced this is triggers the magical intercom system, and that he is pretty sure is in place, even though he's probably wrong. And he goes, "Yo, old rich dude, don't do that again. A. B. Your curtains sucked, so I burned them. And C. Where are the prisoners? And come face us like a man."
My destruction was a comment on your fashion choices.
You don't get any answer from that. I think it was too much of a burn.
Just teenage angst. All triggered. Well, shall we check? I mean, dungeons, right? That's kind of where they hold people in general.
We go to the dungeon, or do we go after the count? If we get rid of him, the guy in the dungeon, he's not going to be, any more in a dungeon.
If we get the guy out of the dungeon, we can just destroy the whole castle.
Yes, but all the shinies.
Ah, all the shinies. Well then, I guess, you've whittled it down to us defeating the count. So is there a reason why we're not letting ourselves have backup? Okay, all right, let's go. Get the count.
I'm more concerned the villagers will trigger more traps. But Oryn mostly doesn't want to deal with cult stuff in game. So player is like, they're going to trigger stuff. Oryn is like, it's a cult. They'll be fine.
And I guess the less we talk to them, the less likely they are to find out that we're not the Sanguinus Guild. That's a good point.
And to be fair, we did debate on killing them all.
We discussed that.
We did discuss that. So, just saying, if they all happen to die...
Oh my gosh.
It's not by our hand.
We didn't do it, and, maybe we get double paid. Who knows?
Paid at all, because the villagers are just paying the Sanguinus Guild. We're doing their work for them.
Well, we can go do some thievery.
Oh gosh, all right, let's go kill this count and steal some stuff so we get paid.
Fingers crossed he has a teleportation system set up somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, we can just take this castle, right? Rule it, shear those sheep. They have been mal-tended.
Olive would love it around here with all the mud.
Yeah.
I don't know, all the broken windows and burned curtains, that's got to lower the house price a bit.
Well, those needed to go anyway.
They were ugly, remember?
Yeah, well, you probably need to fit a new bathroom anyway, just because it's a nice thing to do.
And it won't have a trench in it.
Yeah, it may do.
We're off to find the count.
The wonderful Count of Vincinacht.
I'll tell you what it means later.
I guess climb the stairs. That's where Oryn's going. That's his best guess. Up high.
Yeah, we're climbing the stairs.
Okay, you go up to the next floor where there is a distinct lack of scorch marks.
Not for long.
Not for long. So this is, if you can imagine, sort of more of a mezzanine level. So there's like a sort of like a balcony that skirts the edge of the lower level, so you can like lean over and look down into the main entranceway. So it's like a double level entranceway, effectively. But this walkway, like straight ahead of you, if you like, there's a set of doors. If you have a quick peep your head in, it seems to be some sort of a mixture of like a study / living room. There's a big fireplace in there. There's a bookcase with some chairs. There's a nice billiards table, and there seems to be like a model of the castle, like a small model of it. Meanwhile, looking at either end, so straight ahead of you, you have this like study living room, and then to the left and to the right, if you like have a quick wander around, there are a couple more suits of armor, but none of them attacked you just yet. There are a couple of bedrooms, like one at either side. So there's like the master bedroom, and then there's like a guest bedroom / walk-in closet.
But no count.
No count that you can see.
Where did all those bats come from earlier?
There was like a grate in the ceiling.
I look for a grate in the second floor.
You cannot find one. You're like hunting around the floor. No grate that you can spy.
Hey guys.
Yes?
We should follow the bat cloud to the third level, probably, right?
Oh, there's no extra staircase you can see. It was just that floor and this floor.
Is there like a ladder to a roof?
I'll go for Cade. Just give me a quick history check.
Rolled an 18, but I think my history is pretty terrible. Yeah, so it's a 17.
That's okay. You're like walking around these rooms going, well, if there's no grate, then they can't go up. But then you think about how long the dining room was where the grate was, and you go into the guest bedroom or walk-in closet. There are a lot of capes hanging on rails. You look at the length of that room, and then then wander out back into the study, and you're like, something doesn't add up. And then you think of something you thought when you were going to take a number 2 earlier, and you were like, hang on, maybe, maybe.
Yeah, maybe there's some trap doors, castles always have those. I'd like to, Cade walks over to the model of the castle and starts to give it a good glance over to see if it's an actual scale model, like an architectural model.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one. Dirty 20.
Okay, so you have a look at this, and sure enough, it does seem to be a scale model of the castle. You see the ramparts in the right place. There's some, some turrets. You see a tower on the side, which you remember seeing from the outside, and you're like, hang on, there are just rooms here that we can't find any way to get into any sort of tower.
It's because we're not bats.
There's got to be a trap lever somewhere. Let's fan out and see what we can find. There's got to be a way up to the tower. That's got to be where he's hiding. But while we're doing that, let's also, maybe look for any valuables. Just because. As we're perusing the area, do we find anything of interest?
Yeah. Everyone give me perception or investigation check. Your choice.
I'm going to go with perception, because that's a 19.
4.
Perception 25 from out.
Good God. Nice.
Okay, Oryn, you have a wander around.
Can I steal a cape?
You can totally steal a cape, yeah. There's even one in your size. It's marked extra large.
Nice.
But it does have pockets.
Yay.
And all of a
Capes
sudden, you're
off.
cursed.
He's already cursed into being a Medusa, so what's one more?
However, in the bottom of... Actually, no. In one of those self-same pockets, you do find some, old... They seem to be lab notes, but you can't make head nor tail of them.
I hold them up to Olive and... my brain just broke. Cade. Olive and Cade. And I'm like, look, I found notes. I don't know what they say, but I found notes. Do you guys want to look?
The sorcerer, the warlock, and the monk who are just like, I punch things. I get my power as a gift. And my power just comes to me. Are all like, what is studying?
Yeah, what? Do any of us recognize the writing?
Well, it's in English. Well, or common anyway.
Oh.
But it's just like technical language, So I think the most you'd be able to get out of it being not an overly intelligent party, all things considered. It more or less says that there's like kind of a load of different seems to be like chemical formulas on it, and then just some notes at the bottom. It says like new experiments successful, correct blood mix created. That's the most you can get out of that one. But the other two, you rolled your own checks. We'll go for Olive now. You're hunting around on the mezzanine level, peering over, even checking out the suits of armor, because you're like, I'm starting to get trust issues with these guys. So you're like giving one a poke and jiggling its sword around, seeing if it can come out. But then it goes clonk, and it starts to rotate itself to open some sort of secret door, which goes towards it to be above the latrine area, so the opposite side of the castle from where the bats went up. So you're thinking maybe not the tower, but some other fancy secret that I've discovered. So in this room, there's a tiny little walkway in between the rooms. It's like you're within the walls. Like this room has been sealed off purposefully, and you poke your head around, and a very odd sight catches your eyes, because in this room it's just a blank square room. There is some light coming in from outside from a window. There's a couple of shelves just lining the walls, on which stand around 20 large ornamental snow globes.
Person-sized snow globes?
No, not that big. Maybe about...
Okay.
I don't know how big they normally are. Maybe about just shy of a foot across.
Ah, basketball-sized snow globes.
Yeah, they're very detailed and ornamental, and you think, maybe expensive. Probably if they've been hidden away this long.
Oh, shiny.
But I will tell you, just out of universe, if you nab this lot and sold them to the right collector, you get around 2,000 gold for the whole collection.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't burn the castle down. Cade, you were right.
I usually am.
Okay, so speaking of Cade, what do you find when you're rummaging around the living room? You've moved on from the model of the castle. You've started skirting the bounds of the room. You come across the fireplace, and you're tapping away, and you're like, you have a look underneath the... Was it the rim? It's not the rim. It's like the mantelpiece. You have a look underneath the mantelpiece. The fire is still raging, so you're careful a little bit, I guess, maybe. Are you careful when you stick your head into a fire, Cade?
I would assume so.
Okay. So you carefully stick your head into the fire to see some sort of handle, like a bell pull inside the fireplace. like up the chimney.
Like within arm's reach?
Yeah, you reckon you could pull it?
Okay. Yeah, I reach in and give it a good pull.
Okay, while we're doing that, give me a quick Constitution saving throw, because that thing is hot.
Yeah. That's 12 plus... So 14.
Okay, you pull it, and you bring your hand away, and your palm is pretty burned. So please take 6 fire damage.
All right.
As your hand starts to not quite charred, but it's definitely going to blister in a couple of hours. It's pretty red raw. However, the fruits of your labor mean that you hear a clonking noise to your left, and you see those bookcases sliding apart to reveal a secret door.
Woo!
I knew it.
And then if you poking your head through that door, you see a grate on the floor. And you're like, yes.
I see how he got from this room to the one below, but I still don't know where he is.
Okay, oh yeah, I should probably mention, within that room, there's like a spiral staircase going upwards.
Ah.
Important thing
that
to
would
mention.
Make sense. Yeah, it's easy to miss, just a big staircase.
Yeah, well,
no
you're
big
looking
deal.
at the floor first, aren't you? It's quite easy to miss a big staircase. We've all been there.
So I'd shout to my party, hey, I think I found a way up. Should we charge?
Charge!
With pleasure.
Also, there's like 2,000 gold worth of fancy snow globes back there. I think he really likes snow globes.
Can we... Those are really large. How are we going to get them out of here?
But we'll kill the guy first, and then he probably has a wagon or something we could use.
Okay, I'm down.
I'm going to take one with me.
Let's carry a big, heavy basketball-sized snow globe around.
Yes, I am carrying one basketball-sized snow globe with me up the tower staircase.
If you drop it, it's no longer a collection.
I wonder what the look on his face will be when I do that.
Just smash it in front of him.
It's the first thing we've found that he cares about, so...
Cade's going to push up since... He's already in the room and everything. He's going to go ahead and push up the stairs first. Just in case, checking for traps and any kind of odds and ends going up the old staircase.
Yeah, fair enough. There are no traps, but there is also no safety rail, so just, be careful. I mean, can you count that as a trap, no safety rail?
Yeah.
Definitely a hazard.
Are you drunk?
I haven't drank in quite a while, so I don't think so. I'll hold on to the wall as we slowly make our way up to the top.
Okay, so we've hit secret rooms. That's one of Cade's yes please old castle things. We're about to hit another one as the staircase stops and it turns into a ladder which leads up to a trapdoor.
Wahaha. Let's do it.
There's 2 off his bucket list.
So Cade just slings open the trap door and leaps through.
Okay, so stealth is completely out to lunch. Got it.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad idea.
You can go in stealthily if you would prefer, or you can just go, whoa, I'm here.
I feel like going in stealthily would be out of character, to be honest.
Fair enough. Well, got to recognize your role playing. That's the word. What do we do on a tabletop role playing podcast? What's that word? Role play. That's it. So I will. Yeah, commitment. I'll give you inspiration for that if you want.
Oh, thank you.
I've basically never come across inspiration as part of this, but sacrificing stealth in terms of for character stuff, I think that's worth it. So that will allow you to give yourself advantage on a roll. We tend to use it for re-rolling a rubbish roll, so we'll go for that as well if you want. One of those.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so you sling open the trapdoor and burst through. In a quick second, you can spot that this definitely seems to be some sort of lab. It's a circular room. Lining the walls are tables with like bubbling flasks and weird barrels full of mush. There's glass jars containing odd specimens and herbs, and all like weird things in goo. All the things you'd expect some sort of like medieval scientist to have. Up against like the far side, so the furthest away from you as you could possibly get, up against a window, is the back of the Count, soon to be the front because he burst out quite loudly. But he's been working on something. Meanwhile, on a gurney, just off to one side, lies strapped down a figure who looks very much like Bernhold, who you met earlier, just without the beard. However, as you burst through the trapdoor, the Count turns to look at you and goes, "Ah, I thought you might be joining us. Welcome, welcome. Is it just you, or are your friends here too?"
It's just you and me.
Okay, that
all
sounds
of
like
you
a
see Oryn like wilt.
I was
Because that gives my friends chances to be sneaky.
Okay.
Oryn is just staying at the top of the stairs.
All right, just give me a quick deception check, because, I mean, your friends are, like, beneath you, but not that far.
Oh, sure. Go ahead and tell you I got +8 in deception. I rolled a 12, but I've got +8, so 30, 20.
He's like, "Oh, very well. It's a shame they were not able to meet us. I'm kind of going a bit more German with this one. Oh, who knew?" He's like, come in. Close the trapdoor. There's a horrible draft."
No, that's okay. Never know if I might need to take the door again. What is going on up here?
Well, as you can see, I'm just merely doing some experiments, and Albrecht on the table just is conscious, and he's like, "You'll never get away with this."
He doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. What kind of experiments are you doing?
Well, she's nothing of any of your concern, I'm sure. If you've come to rethink your offer even, then you may be interested in killing this one and just seeing how things go.
Let me put it a different way. Tell me what kind of experiments you're doing, or I'm going to burn this lab to the ground. You might be hard to hit, but the stuff standing around sure isn't.
Okay, hit me with an intimidation check. I believe those exist.
Got +8 on that too.
I'm so glad we have a warlock in the party. It's going much better than if I had said this.
I rolled an 11, so that's a 19.
Okay, he looks around him, sees a lot of very potentially explosive flasks, and just says, "I like you. You've got a certain quality which I can appreciate. Very well, very well. If you would like to witness this experiment, then I will quite gladly show you what's going on." So he walks over to the table with Albrecht on and picks up a syringe from the table. He goes, "Now watch carefully. See, what we have here is your common garden mongrel werewolf. So, what I've been... See, I really want to go back to like the Transylvania. I know I'm pushing for my own accent, so hang on. Let me do the laugh. Yes, that'll put me back. There we go. I said I have the weirdest trigger words. Here we go. So what we have here is your common garden werewolf. But with this blood mixture I've created, I should be able to fuse the genomes of the vampire and the werewolf together to create something stronger, something much more deadly." And he moves his hand over towards Albrecht with the syringe and giving you an opportunity, should you so wish, a quick time event, if you want to bat it away.
Cade immediately raises his axe and says, "Stop. Why would you even want something more powerful?" And what if you couldn't control it? It could just come up and rip you to shreds right now.
Well, it's welcome to try. Let's just put it that way.
No, I don't think you are. Put it down.
I kind of want Albrecht to be more powerful, though. We're going to have to kill this guy. Why not have a more powerful ally?
Yeah, but what if we also have to kill Albrecht?
I doubt that I've failed a charisma saving throw against Albrecht so far.
Yeah, but this guy wouldn't be creating something that would fight against him.
He's gonna be cray-cray.
And he's probably using his own vampire blood in the thing to keep it, under his control.
All right, hey, I'm in the hallway. You do what you want. But Olive would see this through. But Cade is in charge.
But it could kill the guy.
Cade, do what you want.
No, Cade wants to save the guy. The guy might not make it through the experiment. And plus, he doesn't want to make all the villagers mad now that he knows they're all werewolves. So, Cade demands that he put the syringe down.
Okay, just hit me with another quick intimidation check. See how this goes.
Ooh. 14. I always forget I have +8.
Oh, so is that 14 plus 8?
No, it's 14 total.
Oh, just 14 total. Okay. He stares at you in the eyes and just says, well, we shall see, and stabs the needle into Albrecht's arm. And almost immediately, Albrecht begins writhing and twitching, and his fur starts to involuntarily sprout, but he also his snout begins to elongate even more than it normally would as a werewolf, and he starts to get vampiric fangs growing, and also his skin becomes a lot more leathery. So this is some sort of weird hybridized vampire werewolf.
Olive bursts in the door.
I say Olive and Oryn are probably bursting in.
We'll save you, Albrecht. Hey, I've got a charisma of -1, so I'm trying to get this guy on my side. But, Oryn, if you want to, help, what do you say to convince Albrecht we came here to save him? I mean, so far, we've done a great job with our warlock being don't stab him. Gotta love that. Can we do the cincher? How do we get Albrecht on our side?
Oryn was just going to cast Dominate Person on him. Because then he would have to be on our side, and then we can deal with the ramifications later.
Okay, well, you want to see if he's already there? Do we need to dominate him?
Oryn doesn't want to take any chances.
Oh, dang! Oryn, you're very strong and well built.
At the moment, he's visibly writhing in pain as he tries to get out of his bonds, which will happen more or less on his turn. Now we're hitting initiative.
Initiative. Olive is holding a snow globe.
Yeah.
Good noises from everyone.
11. You guys aren't embracing the low rolls like I am.
7. I am very squishy. I like to hit things first.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so also just to clarify, Olive is standing in front of Oryn and is holding a snow globe.
Okay, Cade, what was yours?
15.
15, okay. Alrighty. Righty. So, with all this confusion, it's the Count's turn first. And so, Olive is standing in front of Oryn, whereas Cade is more or less next to the Count. Okay. What the Count is going to do is move around the gurney, so onto the other side, so still technically within melee range of Cade, and more or less ought to be able to line you up, because it's quite a small room. So what he's going to do is swirl his hands around, chanting as electrical sparks fly in between his fingers, and straight, because you're in a nice easy line for him, I'm going to need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw for me, for he is lightning bolting you.
15.
15. Also.
12.
15, 15, and 12. Let me find. Ooh. Okay.
Can you please let me know if I succeed or fail?
I certainly will, because I know that you take half if you succeed and none if you fail. No, the other way around. None if you succeed, half if you fail. That's the one. Hey, I got it so backwards. Like.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, everyone fails.
Well.
So, Olive, you take half, which will be... Sorry, you see my face. That's nasty. Okay, everyone apart from Olive takes 20 points of lightning damage. Olive, you take 10 because you succeeded.
Down to 48
hang on,
hit points.
Sorry, you failed, so you take half.
Right.
Okay.
I'm down to 48
The numbers
hit points
are correct.
Okay. Can the snow globe that I'm holding in my hand explode?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Are you still up, Oryn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. Can I free action talk to the Count?
Yeah.
Weissnacht, you just exploded one of your snow globes. What are you doing?
You're not going to like me for this. Instead of like a persuasion or deception, just give me a charisma roll.
It's all the same number, my friend. Charisma -1, persuasion -1, deception -1.
Oh.
And I rolled a 4 on the dice. So that's a 3.
So he says, I can get others. True, they're expensive, but he can get more. Okay, that's his turn up. Yeah. So next up is, whoops, I'm looking at the wrong one. It is Cade.
So as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Searing Smite. Wait, am I within melee range? I'm going to assume I am, since it's a tiny room. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Searing Smite. And I'm going to swing, and if I hit, I'm also going to hit him with Divine Smite.
Yes.
And depending on how my roll goes, I would like to use my inspiration on this hit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a 12. So
that will not hit, no.
Yeah, let me give it another roll. Does an 18 hit?
It does.
No, I'm sorry, 19.
Yes. Also, yes.
Okay. So give me a little while to calculate this, because this is a lot of damage.
Problem. That's okay. I will describe it as you're calculating. So you pray to whichever god. You talk to the voices in your head, and you're like, guys, I could do with a hand here. So you feel your it's been a while since you did any paladin level stuff. You've mostly been focusing on warlocking recently, but you feel like the vestiges of your godly influence flowing into your weapon, and you're like, boy, this is going to be a big one. So you start swinging it round, like you're winding up your shot, and then you start swinging straight for it. He ducks, but then you keep going around and do a full 360 spin, and you smack him again on the other way, because he really wasn't expecting that.
Vampires count as undead too, correct?
Vampires, yes.
Okay, that's an extra D8. And that's an 8. And then so that's weapon, 1, 2, 2. Okay, and then the damage from Searing Smite. And it's going to be cast as a 4th level spell. So it deals an extra 1d6. Causes the target to ignite in flames. He takes 50 points of damage. Some of that is radiant damage. And he's also on fire. And he must make at the start of each of its turn until the spell ends, it must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, it takes another 1d6.
Okay, I will say though that the radiant damage does not do extra.
He does not take extra damage from radiant?
He does not.
I thought vampires were weak to radiant.
Vampires are, yeah.
Is this guy not a vampire? DM's
Nope.
shaking his head. No.
I don't know, but he's
This
been
guy's not a
smacked and he's on
vampire.
fire. It's a good thing you said that too, because I actually didn't calculate the added radiant damage.
Whoa, do you let Olive in on that he's not a vampire?
I don't think I would know that he's not a vampire.
If your blade doesn't sizzle into his flesh like it should.
My blade's on fire.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely
I mean, I don't know.
sizzle,
That's a question for the DM, really.
It depends on how much vampire hunting you've done in the past.
Not a lot.
So I'd say that you don't know for sure that he's actually not a vampire. It's just like the vampires you have hit, like in that same sort of method, have started to like flake a bit more around the edges, but it's also on fire. So can you really tell?
True.
It's like you see something a bit off about the marks you've left, but you're not quite sure what.
Gotcha.
But that's still a whack of like damage.
2 smites added together plus my Oh, wait a second. I also have I'm sorry, add 1 damage to it because I have improved packed weapon.
Oh no, not one more damage added.
Yeah,
on the,
oh no,
the
not
other,
one
like,
more.
50. Okay, the Count visibly recoils because he's just being whacked like nobody's business. So he staggers a bit and is like, "You little peasant."
There's the guy on fire.
Yeah, says the guy on fire. Okay,
Yeah, that ends my turn.
that ends your turn. Olive, you're up.
I tried to talk to this guy. I tried to find out something that he could do instead of killing everybody, like he could come hang out with us in our guild and we could drink. I tried to find something valuable to him, the snow globes. I think I'm just gonna hit him. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hit him. So Olive runs up and, with an 18 to hit, her left fist smashes into his right cheek for 8 damage. With a 22 to hit, her right fist smashes into his left cheek for 9 damage. She swings low and does a tail sweeping attack for a 22 to hit for 7 damage, and then double tail attacks for an 18 to hit for 5 more damage for 28 total damage, and please make a dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone by my tail sweeping attack, which is Flurry of Blows.
Okay, well, I rolled a 4. Well, okay, with Dex modifier, a 6.
You are prone, which means that attacks from far away, like the Eldritch Blast, might have disadvantage, but attacks from me in melee against you will have advantage. And I think there's something about auto crits, but I don't remember blah, blah, blah. I haven't actually knocked anybody prone, so I'm going to look that up before your next turn. But I'd like to stand over you as a 5'10", 235-pound bipedal crocodile and say, peasant lives and noble lives, vampire lives and werewolf lives all matter. You can't just kill people. They have consequences. Actions have consequences. I'm going to look up prone now. I end my turn.
Okay. Sorry, hang on. Made a slight mistake in the order. It's Albrecht now. So he's been writhing around on this gurney, like trying to like break free of his restraints. And now that suddenly happens, and this giant werewolf vampire hybrid just leaps onto his feet and, let's say, just goes a bit mad. So, question is, who's closest? I think it's Cade, because the Count's been like knocked over. Olive's standing underneath him. Overneath? That's not a word. Olive's standing over him, but Cade is like is still stood by that same gurney. So Cade is going to get whacked at by big old vampire. Now I've got to do a little bit of switching around in the old manual. So let's. Okay, Cade, you're going to get 2 hits flying your way. 1 scratch, 1 bite. The scratch does... I'm assuming... I don't think a 15 hits you, but...
Nope.
No, so it tries to claw at you, only scraping along whatever armor you've got. Obviously, it's not quite used to having these extra talons. However, it's very well versed in its usage of bite, which was an unnatural 20, which I believe hits.
Just barely hits.
What happened to the whole dominate person? Didn't that...
I didn't actually do it.
Oh, okay.
We were just discussing whether it was a possibility. We decided it was, but hasn't been Oryn's turn yet.
Mm.
So how much does that bite do?
You're gonna get bit for 12 piercing damage, and also make me a Constitution saving throw.
Sure. It's a good one. 17. No. Yes.
Okay, you're clear.
Cool.
I will just say
now that he's hit me,
we'll just say getting bitten by a werewolf, dangerous business.
Yeah. So now that he's hit me, I'm going to use a reaction after taking damage to cast. Where's it at? Sorry, I got to find the spell.
Hellish Rebuke, I believe it's called.
Yes, Hellish Rebuke. I point my finger at him, and he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Gladly. Oof. Unnatural 20, 19 plus 1.
That succeeds, so he's going to take half damage. This is going to be as a 4th level, so it's 4d10s. 20 damage, so he takes 10.
Alright, great. Okay, now we're up to Oryn.
Oryn steps in front of Olive, looks at the Count, and says, "That was a neat trick. I can do that too," and shoots lightning at him. So he needs to do a dex save.
Okay, let me see. Prone should have disadvantage on that.
Oh yeah, I looked that up. Prone. A prone creature's only movement option is to crawl, unless it stands up and thereby ends the condition. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls. An attack roll against the creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature, otherwise the attack roll has disadvantage.
Yeah, that's okay. However, Olive is a little bit standing like over the Count.
Yeah, I want to move to the side. Olive, okay, you look strong. You'll be fine.
Especially if I don't get hit with a were-vampire.
Yeah, you can look at Cade and see he's looking a little winded.
Yeah, that were-vampire looks really strong. Do you want to dominate it?
I want to hit it with lightning. It was such a good action line. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I won't interfere in your turn. I'm being bad.
Can I still hit the Count?
Yeah.
Did he fail his dex save?
Yes.
He takes 37 points of damage.
What?
Ouch.
What? Oryn,
Jesus.
You're awesome.
This is a good roll, y'all. I got 5 6s on those 8d6.
Nice. Those natural ones are really coming around karma-wise, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so the Count, after being summarily electrocuted, is just lying there in shock, going you can see the smoke, wisps of smoke just trailing off him. He's like, so he's more or less, wordplay, not intentional but very much welcomed, down for the Count. But you do still have the issue of a vampire werewolf to contend with. However, jumping up back to the top of the round, if you're all good, Oryn, is Cade's turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm good.
Cade is in a bind. I do believe I only have 1 spell slot left. Yes. Okay. Well, heck with it. I'm going to use my last spell slot to use Vampiric Touch. Let's see. So I'm going to make an attack roll. I get... Ooh, does a 17 hit?
Yes, it should do. I'm just checking to see whether undead creatures, which it technically is being a vampire, are immune to necrotic damage.
Oh yeah, that'd be good to know. I didn't know if he counted as an undead because he's half werewolf.
Yeah, I mean the other half is still vampires, so let me have a look, see. There it is, a vampire. Okay, it's resistant to necrotic, but not immune. So it just takes half damage.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go with it still. No, I don't want to do that then if it only takes half damage. I'll just double Eldritch Blast it. Is it 15 hit?
Yes, it does.
I guess a 16 hits too then. So 8 plus 7.
Alright, 15 damage then. Well, no. Okay, is that it for Cade?
And how can you describe me this tower a little bit? Like, are we way up in the air, or is the roof nearby?
It's quite a high roof. There are some rafters above you, and then above that you do have the slope of the tower roof. It's a circular tower, and there are windows dotted around the place. Not smashed yet.
Gotcha. That's fine. Hint. Maybe.
Well, I mean, you smashed the last set, so I thought I'd just mention it.
No, that ends Cade's turn.
Okay. Up next to bat is Olive.
Is Albrecht within, 15 feet of one of those windows?
15 feet in meters is 4.5 meters. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. I would like to, with a natural 20, a 21, a 16, and a 23. Which of those hit?
All of them.
I would like to pow 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 for 34 damage. And please make a strength saving throw, Albrecht.
Okay. I rolled a 2, so that's a 4.
I would like to push Albrecht 15 feet away from me, out the window.
Okay, so you know how in boxing films you have those little punch bags where you
Beat bag.
It's very much like that. You start just advance on him and go punch, 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 and he's always backing up and trying to get out of the way, but you keep just pounding on him, and eventually he just gets to the window, looks around, sees where he is, and you look him in the eyes and you're like, yeah, I know. Burf, one more. He goes sailing out of the window.
Bye-bye. You'll be fine. Probably.
It's okay. He can land in some bushes.
It's only 2 stories up in some tower. Bye. Sorry you got transformed.
Also getting daylight outside. He's half vampire.
Yeah. Barnhold sent us. We saved you.
Okay, so now we are, I'd say, out of combat now. So you have one slightly smoking, more or less a necromancer. Not dead, because I don't like doing that with sentient things. So he's very much just he's twitching. He's still alive, but unconscious.
Real quickly, since we're out of combat, Cade is gonna down his 1 potion of healing.
All right.
What is a normal potion of healing heal? Is that a D6? No.
2d4 plus 2.
Oh, cool. Okay. 4. 3.
As he's drinking the health potion, I turn around from the window and I say, Oryn, that lightning was amazing.
Thanks. And he sits on the floor. He is a little rough.
Aw, you did amazing. This is your first adventure with the fire-breathing kittens. I think you're going to fit in great.
Yay. And he like puts a thumbs up and like...
I mean, you were the first one to light things on fire, so...
Well...
You already fit in very well.
Fire is kind of one of my things.
How do you feel about capital punishment versus life in jail?
Or mob justice.
Or mob justice.
Yeah, Cade taps his axe and says, I know which one I prefer.
We've got a vote. Oryn, what's your vote?
I like life in prison. Let him rot.
Okay. Well then, with 2 votes for not the axe, let's tie him up and tell the mob that we did it, and contractually we're not allowed to kill this guy because contracts. But we are going to take him with us because they paid for that extra fee.
That sounds like a perfect plan.
Okay.
While they tie him up, I'm going to look around the lab and see if there's anything worth snatching in this grand castle that we've found no riches in so far.
Aside
other than
from
the snow globes that we can't get out of here.
There are lots of different alchemical ingredients strewn throughout, so if you need any... we tend not to require, alchemical stuff, just because it's kind of boring to keep track of. But we'll just say that any things you previously were running low on or used with the spells you already done, you can replenish that and have a load left for like future use.
Gotcha.
Are there enough chemicals to make a bomb?
Oh yeah.
Oryn, you're going to fit right in.
On my map, I did literally write explosive barrels.
Well, the reason I ask is Oryn turns to you two and he says, okay, capital punishment, we put him in jail for life, right? Should we just explode this whole place so nobody gets any ideas?
I kind of want to own a castle, but this is pretty far away from Nicomoy, probably. And it's hard to do property management with very distant properties. Can we sell it? Can we seize the castle, take the rights, transfer the deed, and then sell it?
Oh, we also still have a mob to deal with.
Yeah, we do. You can take the explosive barrels with you, and then you can explode stuff later, because you can own them.
Yeah, we should probably just sell it then, I suppose.
Asset seizure has surpassed robbery loss for the first time in the United States in 2021. So... legit, you're more likely to lose something valuable to the police seizing it than you are to someone stealing it. Let's take this castle.
Totally.
Yeah. So let's tie this guy up. I'm not going to lead Cade with him alone. Sorry, Cade. And I'm going to tie him up securely. Yeah, DM?
Okay. Bind his hands. Those are dangerous for a spellcaster.
You say that as like Cade's rifling through his pockets.
And then I'm probably going to I see this table ready for, I'm sure he's got some restraints on this table and stuff like that. So he's tied up, he's restrained, he's tied to his own table. You get what you create. A little bit of the rule of 3 coming back at you. You put this out into the world and now you're tied up in your own table. And then let's head down to the mob, guys.
Okay, you head back down to the trapdoor. Back down the spiral staircase, out of the hidden bookshelf, down the set of stairs. All the fire has burnt itself out, although the curtains look awful. The mob is standing there. They've managed to fend off the gargoyles and are now all stood tactically inside the entrance hall so that those of them who are more vampirically inclined do not have to stand in the sunlight.
Wonderful. Oryn pops up and he gets their attention. And he says, all right, we defeated the dude. We now own this castle. When it gets dark, you can leave. But really, you guys need to stop with the cult stuff. You guys sound like a cult. So you guys need to chill on that and just be chill in your village and we won't have any problems. Capiche?
One of them, but Bernholt is at the front of the mob, but someone else from the back of it just says, "We're not a cult."
You sound like one, so you need to figure out how to not do that anymore. Maybe create a department of tourism. Start there.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've got a rightly justified anger towards this guy. I mean, he did turn us all into, like, werewolves and vampires and such.
Transformations happen.
Oh, is that how you became werewolves and vampires and whatnot? And that's what you... Okay, I got it. I get it now.
Well, we're done. We're going to take this castle and this dude. Do you know how to get us home?
It's at that point, Bunholt, who's like the, I guess, quest liaison at this point, wanders up to you and goes, "Oh, yes, what all we need to do is get my accent back to where it was. Skyrim belongs to the Nords. There we go. Okay, I'm Bernhold again. All we need to do is just to get this box, and because I sent the quest manifest, all I need to do is just tap on it because in a couple of different spots, just to tell the box it's a magical box that is the quest is done, and they should take you back."
Bernhold, how's Albrecht? He's exposed to the sunlight out back, underneath the tower. Did you rescue him?
He pops his head around the door, like the front, and goes, "Has anyone seen Albrecht?" And you get a voice from they go, "Oh yeah, I see him. He's very hairy." "Oh, yup, that's Albrecht."
All right, I'm glad that worked out.
Doesn't seem to be quite dead.
Yeah, maybe give him some time to get his stuff together.
Yes, he's probably been through a lot, but no, you have been. You have been a great help.
So this guy was like,
okay.
It's okay to kill those people because they're monsters. And he actually is the only human here, and he turned the entire town into monsters, killing a large number of them in the process. I'm so glad we killed that guy. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I finally understand the story. What a dick.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't let me kill him.
Oh yeah, we didn't kill him. We tied him up. Well,
it's poetic justice, I think.
I think we should take him with us and like put him in jail.
Let the mob have him.
Could experiment on him first.
Payback.
Okay, so
it's a bitch.
It's going to require that they're going to have to testify against him to lock him up. But I think as long as they're willing to testify, are you guys willing to testify against this Weissnacht?
That's that same guy from the back of the mob go, "Well, this is more of a feudal anarchistic state. I think we're okay, to be honest." Or is it anarcho-feudalistic state? I always get those confused. I'm not a lawyer.
So you're saying you wouldn't testify against him if called to do so in a court of law?
I'm just saying that around these parts we don't put much stock in court systems, if you get my drift.
Yeah, I see your mob. I see the angry mob. That's not good either.
He just leans in and says, "I think he just means that they'll believe, when we turn him in, they'll just believe us. Because the guy is a necromancer."
Oh yeah, we have the truth spell in this world, so we probably don't need people to testify. Just skip that.
I've got a truth axe too, so...
We're taking
this
him
is
with
my axe.
us.
Its name is Truth.
Exactly. You want him to tell the truth. I call this my truth axe. He'll tell the truth.
Are you guys good aligned?
No.
Well, either way, Bernhold looks you up and down and goes, "Well, brothers and sisters, what did I tell you? The Sanguinister Guild has pulled through once again. They finally rid us of the scourge of Count Weissnacht. And we can not possibly repay you all that we would wish to. You'll have to do with the money we already prepaid for it. But let's face it, this guy was rich. You can get anything you want here."
Oh yeah, we own his house. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, like, possession is, not even 9/10. It's the whole law.
No, this is asset seizure, asset forfeiture. Like, genuinely, this castle was involved in a crime. The grounds need to be, seized.
And maybe sanctified as well.
That just sounds like legal robbery, but...
It is! It is legal robbery. Seriously, if you get arrested and you have 10 grand in cash on you, that 10 grand goes to the cops.
Well...
If you get arrested and you have a castle, and you were using that castle to turn people into werewolves and to commit crimes...
Granted, the cops don't usually light people on fire.
Wonderful. Oryn is ready to go home.
And with that, we've all learned a lot of different lessons today, I think. Oryn has learned that he's a secret badass. Oliver's learned that not all suits of armor are weak in the same places. And Cade has learned something, I'm sure, not to stick his head down toilets.
Oh yeah, that was a good lesson.
Always a good lesson to learn. One lesson we could all learn, though, is how to leave a review. So it's very simple. All you have to do, just listen here, Upsec. It's real easy. All you have to do is go onto the podcast. If I can even say the words, then this would be a really good lesson to be teaching. All you have to do is go to the podcast provider that you're listening to us on, whether that's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, whatever you're listening to us on. There's going to be something that says leave a review. That's your first clue. So you click on that, right? And here's the good bit. You click on the thing that says 5 stars. Yeah. And then you can write beneath it what you think of the podcast. Hey, and that helps us out. That helps you out. You get to do a little bit of writing. Let's face it, none of us have been doing a lot of writing recently. So, go for it. Write some words. If you're French Canadian, let us know how things are up there. If you're not, tell us what you think about French Canada. Nothing rude. We're all civilized here. But either way, leave us a review. It really helps us out. And once you've finished writing a review for us, go through as many podcasts as you listen to, write them reviews, because let's face it, give them a hand as well. It takes very little time to do, and it does a lot more good than you could possibly think. So, that is it for this episode of the Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Joining us this week were Oryn.
Bye.
Cade.
Thanks for joining us.
And Olive.
How much does a castle sell for?
Quite a lot. Actually, I did one time inquire about buying Neuschwanstein, the castle in Bavaria, South Germany. Very expensive. Very, very, very expensive. Although I should also mention that your collection of snow globes is now down to 1,800 gold because you smashed one.
Bye.
Anyway, bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Crossroads Cantina. It sits somewhere between time and space, welcoming patrons from every walk of life. Come join me to hear their stories. Crossroads Cantina is a fiction podcast featuring narrated short stories and the occasional full cast audio drama episode. Head on over to www.crossroadscantinapodcast.com to subscribe on your podcast app of choice.
The fusion of technology and DNA is here, but at what cost? Welcome to the cyberpunk metropolis known as the Neon Boulevard. After the city-long streets that cut through the heart of the city, the SciBio Corporation has always been on the cutting edge of augmentation development for the Neon Boulevard. And with its latest technology set to be announced, they aim to change the world once more. The day before the announcement, SciBio's CEO was murdered, triggering events that put a rogue AI and a serial killer on a collision course that could destroy life in the city forever. Meanwhile, Private Detective Xander Draven is visited by the synthetic replica of the murdered CEO's grieving widow, who wants him to track down her husband's killer. Julian Trevitz, a hacker and reporter, and his AI companion Quartzig are searching for their next story as they become drawn into SciBio's dark past. Clone Worker number 133 suffers a brain injury that frees him from his programming. Discovering his true identity has ties to the serial killer and the corporation's founders. If you like fast-paced, high-tech, futuristic thrillers and a diverse range of unique characters, then step onto the Neon Boulevard today. This book was written by Nick Whitaker and narrated by me, Dale Robertson. You can find Neon Helix on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon.
The following is a brief bit of the Pedro and Banana podcast.
Do you know what really freaks me out about the mask, yeah? Everyone's wearing a mask, right? CCTV everywhere, yeah? You think this is a fantastic opportunity for bank robbers. Nobody's robbed a bank.
Yeah,
Nobody's robbed any banks.
I've
What's been
exactly
going on?
the same thing.
I thought banks would be getting dropped left, right and centre.
Just any kind of crime like that where CCTV
Anything,
is necessary.
Yeah, where you wear everyone's got a mask on, so you can't really identify me. No, it wasn't me. It was him with the mask. That's not me. That bloke's got a mask on. I don't wear a mask.
Yeah. Put a hood on, put your mask on, done.
That don't even look like
Covered.
my shotgun. My shotgun's green. That one's black. I always had this Ferrari.
That was the Pedro and Banana podcast. Find them wherever you find podcasts.